Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The springtime slide for the Jackets continues. The Hurricanes poured it on the CBJ 5-1 last night in Carolina. Fifth straight loss for Columbus, who falls out of the second wildcard spot in the East. The Senators beat the Sabres. The Red Wings top the Flyers. Ottawa now has that second wildcard spot. But those two teams in the Blue Jackets have 88 points. There's still a chance for them to make the playoffs. Columbus returns to Nationwide tomorrow night, hosting the Jets with 5 games to play after that. In the NBA Thursday, the Cavs clinched a playoff spot with a 118-111 win over the Warriors. Cleveland sits 4th in the Eastern Conference. They'll host the Pacers Sunday. In college football, Ohio State will hold Student Appreciation Day tomorrow morning at 10:30 at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. This update is sponsored by High Bank Distillery Co., locally inspired dishes and award-winning cocktails. Visit highbankco.com to make your reservation today. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
I'm talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy, Austin Ward. My good buddy, Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lesmerises joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Tiberi here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then
it's a rundown.
And then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only 2 guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a Friday, a Good Friday edition of the program. Bo and the boys with you for the next 3. Clayton Safy going to join us from Wolverine.com to preview the Final Four. Speaking of the Final Four, get you set for that coming up at 9:30. 10 o'clock, conference title games going the way of the dodo bird. One prominent athletic director seems to think so. Tim May at 10:30, as is customary. 11 o'clock, what we learned on this fine week. And 11:30, we close out the week, as we always do, with our good buddy Doug Lesmerises. You have that to look forward to, which is nice. Listen, there are a few things quite like when your team makes a run and when they get in, and there's an electricity to it. And we've seen it here a few times with your professional sports team. Certainly seen it a couple of times with the Crew as they've won the ultimate championships in the MLS Cup. We've seen it with the Blue Jackets. Obviously, they have not won the Cup, but we've seen what the energy is like in this town when they get in, and certainly when they do the impossible and as an 8 knock off the 1 and get into playing second-round games against the Bruins. You got guys like me and Laurinaitis at that time saying they can win the Cup. I mean, there was an excitement to it. There is something that is infectious about it, and there's something about it happening in spring and being able to be outside and being able to tailgate, for lack of a better concern, the parties that happen around in the Arena District. It's pure magic. And the cool thing about it is a bandwagon that the doors are wide open for anybody to jump on. And we see this time and time again. Hell, we saw this last year with the outdoor game, where people jump on this bandwagon and they can't wait to be a part of it. I'll acknowledge that there are tens of thousands of you out there right now who are like Bake, who watch every single game and go to most and have it down to the line changes and have it down to decisions that are made in the third period or the second, third. Tens of thousands of you that do that. There are a great many of you that don't. There are a great many of you that watch it casually, and if they give you a reason to watch, that you will watch in droves. You will attend the games. You will go. You will buy the gear. You will do all of those things. But the onus is on them to give you a reason to do so. It's not your job to do so. You're busy. You got a million things. You may have families, could have activities, could have other things you care about. For you, their job is to give you a reason to jump on the bandwagon. And for most of this season, this team did. And they're not cooked yet. They're not. But when we had Jody on yesterday and he said this is a must win, and you give up 3 in the first and get suffocated, and that's what it was. This was a suffocation last night. I mean, I watched into the third period. I'm like, okay, I've seen enough. There's nothing going to change here. When they answered right away, you get the goal to make it 3-1, and they answered in like 8 seconds, and you're like, oh, okay, this is how this is going to go. All right, no more to have to pay attention to here. I'll go watch the end of Top Gun Maverick for the 7 millionth time. That's their job. That's their job to be able to do it. I said earlier in this week I thought they'd get in. I still think that they probably will, but now we're talking about 5 straight, and we're not just talking about losing. It's the way that we're losing. And these were 2 behind the woodshed beatdowns back-to-back that if you are someone who is willing to jump on a bandwagon, right now you're saying, not so fast, my friend. And that's kind of the reality and how quickly, guys, life can happen in the NHL in a week. 1 week ago at this time, I remember reading an NHL power ranking that had the Blue Jackets 6th in the league on ESPN.com. 6th in the league.
They're playing like it.
No more.
Not so much. No, in a game where everybody was saying not everybody was saying it was must win last night in Carolina, but everybody was saying must respond and must fight for 60 minutes. We got the opposite, and you got the opposite at the worst time because, as you heard in the update, now Ottawa's got that second wild card spot in the East. Now you're tied with them in points, but it's certainly in a situation with six to play. Winnipeg on Saturday, you've lost the last 5. You were outscored 10-3 in your last 2. Now, the Carolina Hurricanes have 102 points for a reason on the season. But the thing last night, I think it was Marchenko that scored for the Blue Jackets last night, and then they turn around and put another in the net. Yep. And Elvis looked lost out there. They weren't giving him any help defensively. They certainly weren't at all aggressive. He was Jean-Luc Grandpierre. Every time they went to intermission was like Carolina's goaltender's just hanging out. He's just chilling. And that can't be the sense of urgency is not there, and this can't be the way things go when you get into April and you want to make a playoff push. Because if they're able to stumble into the 8th spot, where's the confidence that they can do anything once they get in?
No, none. Yeah, not the way it's going now, Bake.
The Blue Jackets tied a franchise record that was set 23 years ago for the least amount of shots in a game with 10. Mm-hmm. They set an NHL record last night because just 2 of those shots came from forwards. Jeez. You had 1 from Boone Jenner. You had 1 from Kirill Marchenko. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's the list on the shots.
That's it.
Last night was obviously disappointing, but it was disappointing for so many reasons. You thought maybe you'd have a bounce-back effort against a team that just beat you on your home ice. You get a goal, and then you immediately give up the tying goal. They haven't even announced your goal yet, and Carolina puts one in the back of the net. This is a gut check time for this organization, and it's a gut check time for some veterans that have been here for a while, for your leadership core, because I didn't really see anybody last night say, hey, guys, come on, let's go. I didn't see somebody make a hit. I didn't see somebody take a cheap shot. I didn't see somebody carry the puck up ice all the way through the defense and get a shot on goal. I didn't see anybody making life hell for the goaltender. There's Rick Bowness a couple games ago said there's a lot of guys on this team that have a lot to learn about playing this time, and maybe I'm not so sure it wasn't about some of the leaders on this team.
No, it was absolutely about them.
Yeah, I think initially we thought it was young guys. I don't know that that's the truth, Bake. And Jody on the broadcast was imploring them, hit somebody.
Yeah.
Imploring them, do something.
And I understand the injury situation right now is real.
Yeah,
you lose Mason Marchment, who's been on your top line. No Matthew Olivier, who has been such a solid contributor to your team. No Dmitry Voronkov, who had been in and out of the lineup, but I still believe is 3rd or 4th on this team in goals on the year. Is a big body and a presence. Last night was very disappointing, and it's going to be very interesting to see how this team responds on Saturday, because if they do not respond with their hair on fire, I have a feeling this offseason is going to be a very interesting one from Don Waddell.
Well, Rick Bowness is fed up. He's had enough. I mean, he talked earlier in the week. He did it. He backed it up again last night, talking about the selfish play. Have a listen to this.
You need me to get it, Reese?
Maybe.
Well, not very much that I liked. They got 3 goals tonight on something that we covered this morning about better coverage around our net, and 3 goals that we kind of addressed this morning to clean it up, and they didn't do what we wanted them to do. I saw some selfish play that I haven't seen till now. We had some guys out there pour their whole heart and soul into that game. We really did. And then we had some guys give us absolutely nothing. So if we want to make a serious effort to get in, it's going to take a whole lot more than some of those guys gave us tonight. They can say all they want, we want to get in, we want to get in. I'd shut up and let my play do my talking for me.
Yeah, that's a man who's past caring. I mean, he was brought in here, and it was an immediate impact. But the idea was get into the postseason, and he's been around the block, and he's not going to put up with it. And so I don't know. We'll see. The crazy thing, if you think about how I started the show, the crazy thing, as quickly as people jump on a bandwagon, they could jump off and they can jump right back on. Here's the reality to this. They win the next couple of games and they get themselves back in a wild card position. No one's going to worry about it. No one's going to even remember this. They're not going to remember the loss in Carolina unless they use it as an inflection point to change the way they're going about their business. Then it can be used in a positive way. There's 2 ways they can go here. They can push in the chips, and we'll see you in 2026. In 2027, next season, okay, fine. That's a choice. The other thing is you can dig in and you can try to leave it all out on the ice over the next week. You got 10 days left, man.
And, Bo, I've talked about this a couple times throughout this week. Everybody said Ohio State basketball was cooked after the Iowa game. Mm-hmm. That there's no way they're getting in. That was the end of the road. We'll see you next year. Make the changes you got to make. Move on. And then they won 3 straight, and they got in the NCAA tournament. And are there still issues with the Buckeye basketball team? Sure. Are there things they're going to address in the offseason? Absolutely. But the general feeling around the basketball team's a lot better now than it was if they really would have been cooked and cashed in their chips and not won those last 3 games and got in the NCAA tournament. So you're right. It's gross right now. Yeah. You're tied. There's a lot of people around you. But you're just, not only are you tied for that last wild card spot, you're 1 point out of the Metro at 3rd place.
Yeah.
So it's just the reality. It's all right there for you. What do you want to do?
You've been saying 96.
Maybe not.
Yeah. They got 6 to go. They got 88. So 96 would do it. If you can get there, that would do it. So they're back at home tomorrow against Winnipeg before going to Detroit holy smokes. If you're a Jack, you want to go to a game, go to that one up in Detroit. You want to go to a road game with all that's be on the line for that thing? That'll be a scene on Tuesday up in Detroit. A busy sports night, a busy sports day. We've got home opener for the Aviators. We've got a baseball team, apparently, that's got a home opener as well in the States. We'll get to all of that and potentially a crushing injury in the NBA last night. We're off and running on a Friday. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
I'm Tracy Townsend, anchor at 10 TV News This Morning. This community is my home, and it means everything to me. I care deeply about the stories we bring you each day, especially the ones that truly impact your life, from women's health and advocacy to the decisions happening at the State House. My goal is simple: help you feel informed and connected, because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to 10 TV News This Morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
Remember your first football game? The sound of the crowd, the smell of the grill, the moment you fell in love with the game. This spring break, pass that moment on. At the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, families walk through the greatest moments in football history and create new memories of their own. See the legends, experience the history, share the game you love. Make the Hall of Fame part of your spring break road trip. Plan your visit today at ProFootballHof.com.
Austin Ward here, fired up for warm weather, golf season, longer days, more time outside. Ride the momentum and finally drop the weight you keep saying you will. With Awaken 180, it's fast, easy, and we're all proof that it works. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
At St. Jude, every innovation we make is a moment we give to children with cancer everywhere. But we can't do it without you.
Learn more at stjude.org.
Protect your home or business with Ramos Roofing. Trusted roofing, siding, and gutter solutions with free estimates and flexible financing. Call 614-761-7663 or visit ramosroofingohio.com today. Ramos Roofing. Reliable, local, built right.
After my accident, people warned me to slow down. I said, I don't know how. Thanks to my VA care team, I haven't.
At VA, we're using technology to help veterans recover faster and live their lives to the fullest. Learn more at vacareers.va.gov/PSA.
Family owned and operated. It isn't all sunshine and rainbows. This is Dennis Sullivan, president of Care Heating and Cooling. Here's something you don't hear admitted very often. When you run a business with your family, you don't always get along with them. We argue, we debate, we have real conversations about the decisions that we make. But at Care, every conversation comes back to our priorities, doing right by our employees and our customers. Because when you treat your team like family, they take better care of the families they serve. And when you treat your customers the way you want your own family treated, trust follows. That mindset doesn't always maximize short-term profits, but it builds something better, long-term relationships. Today, more and more local companies are being bought by venture capital firms, where maximizing profits often leads to a sales-first mentality. Care is still family-owned and locally operated, so we can keep people, not profits, at the center of every decision. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING when you need a company you can trust.
Think you know Buckeye football? These two say, hold my beer. The Beat with Austin and Berm.
Sponsored by the Waterworks.
Daily on the Fan's YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
Do you have foot pain? Foot pain is not normal regardless of your age or job. Podiatric physicians are the most qualified doctors to care for your feet and can provide important foot care solutions or shoe inserts to better manage foot pain. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state and are dedicated to providing the highest quality foot and ankle care. We've been serving the profession and the public for over 100 years. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
We plant trees because people need trees, and when planted in the right place, they have great impact. Trees help slow climate change, filter our air and water, foster biodiversity, and strengthen our communities. They create the kind of transformational change the world needs now. April is a month filled with opportunities to care for and plant trees. For planting resources, contact an Ohio ISA certified arborist who can help you learn how to take the best care of your trees. Visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Chances of showers and storms for us this afternoon. Otherwise, it'll be partly sunny and breezy with highs getting up into the low 80s. For tonight, shower and thunderstorm chances linger overnight. Otherwise, mostly cloudy with lows in the 60s. And then for Saturday, we'll see partly sunny skies with chances of showers and storms developing in the afternoon. Breezy winds and highs in the low 80s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
The Big Nine was a sad, incomplete place. Enter Ohio State. The rest is history. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan. The friends are the guests and listeners. Reeser and Baker just work here.
Back to work. Back to work. Everybody. Work, 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 work.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
I saw the email this morning. Official statement. Due to strong demand for tomorrow night's home opener, the Columbus Aviators have opened additional seating at historic Crew Stadium. The matchup marks the first home game in franchise history. The Aviators continue their inaugural season in front of what is expected to be an electric crowd. I have not looked at the forecast for this evening.
There's rain scheduled.
A little bit of rain?
Rain forecast, but nothing severe.
As long as we don't have... we got to go to the AccuWeather.
Or 10 weather impact forecast.
We get the storms are tomorrow night.
You could rely on the 10 weather impact forecast.
You can always rely on the 10 weather impact forecast. What are you talking about?
Where's Meredith? Is she ready? I mean, she's got it for me. All right. So, according to the great folks at AccuWeather, I think you're going to be safe, pal.
Use the 10 weather impact forecast.
10 weather impact forecast.
Come on.
The 10 weather impact forecast. According to the 10 weather impact forecast, could be a little dicey around 8, maybe, but I think we're going to be okay. You're going, Bake, right?
I am. I figured you only get one chance to go to the Aviators' first ever game at home, so
yeah,
I'll be there.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm curious to see what this looks like. I mean, this is on Big Boy Fox. This is Big Boy Fox tonight across the country. The field looks great. The uniforms are gorgeous. Heard Ted again this morning. I mean, people are jacked up. I think it's cool. Let's go. I think this is something. We've always said that this was a city. I never understood why one of the spring football leagues didn't add Columbus. And so they finally did. And so let's see what happens here.
And Bo, I noticed this. We haven't talked much about it, but from when you had Mike Rapoli on the other day, I noticed in the interview he said something about the venues, and they wanted to have an atmosphere, and he talked about getting everybody in that lower area close to the field. Yep. I think this is such a good job that they're doing. Like, hey, let's make sure the seats closest to the field are filled, and then we'll open up the seats further away. You see Ohio State do that, the shot with the women's basketball game. Everybody's in the lower bowl, unless it's a bigger game. Like when Caitlin Clark was here, then they had fans up top. I think the men's basketball games should do that too when they have games that are lowly attended. Hey, let's get everybody down low and close to the court. I think it's a fabulous move on the Aviators' part doing that. And when you get the demand, yeah, let's fill the whole place up.
I think I took note of that as well. In the conversation, I thought that was very smart about creating atmosphere. All of these things, Blue Jackets, Clippers, Crew, Aviators, they're all pulling for your attention. They're all asking for it. And what it all is what they all aspire to be initially is a good hang. Be a good hang. That's all. At the beginning, that's all it is. And then you become diehard. I mean, you go back 30 years, the Crew were a good hang in Ohio Stadium. And then it waned, crazy ownership, so forth. Now look at them. Look at them now. So that's what you want. You want a good hang. The Clippers became a great hang when they moved to Huntington. When you moved to Huntington, they become a great hang. So that's...
What do you mean?
That's what it is. Yeah.
I remember good hangs at Cooper Stadium.
Woo.
There were tailgates at Cooper.
There were hangs. There were hangs, brother.
Did it get better when they moved to Huntington? Yeah, but...
Slightly.
Don't besmirch the great legacy of Cooper Stadium.
Nostalgia can take you in a lot of different directions. God, it was great. No, it wasn't. It was not great. It was not great. So they got things jumped up a notch. Reese, are you going to be northbound and bound?
Not going north, but my eyes will be there.
Okay, so you got opening day in Cleveland today, the home opener, the Cubs and the Guards at 4:10 today on that one. Pretty dang good start for them.
I mean, they're going to win the World Series, and then the league's going to get locked out. So it's really kind of the perfect storm.
What am I dealing? I get it now. Let me see what they're dealing with.
No business taking 2 or 3 from the Dodgers, but yet they did. And Gavin Williams is great, and yeah, they're going to win the Central because the Tigers can't hit until July, or won't hit until July. I'll say.
Well, they win the Central almost every year.
I know they're the quickest fat kid.
They really are.
Like it's a 100-meter dash of all obese children, and the Guardians somehow waddle across the finish line.
So they're going to be, I think they're going to be a little bit dicey right at first pitch around 4, according to the 10 impact. What is it? 10 TV?
10 weather impact forecast.
10 weather impact forecast.
All right, so you're not block breaking in the break. You're just going to repeat 10 weather impact
10
forecast.
weather impact.
Yeah.
Boy, I got 3 left.
Mm-hmm.
3 left.
And then, by the way, it makes sense now.
Clock's ticking. Clock's ticking. Clock's ticking. I only got 4 hours to get the last 3 blocks.
So if you don't in the 3 hours, it's Van Gogh gone.
I guess.
Okay.
I mean, it is absolutely. That's where we're at.
I think you get the picture of Van Gogh with his sticking his tongue out at you, saying you lost.
3 little blocks left. So when I do it, once that accomplishes, then it detonates off the phone, and never to return.
I don't know about
because
this.
I am aware of how absurd this is. No, I am, because I know what's going to happen. I know I'm going to complete the stupid thing, and by the way, the ads are just now that I got 3 blocks left. It's like you make a move and 6 ads pop that you got to sit through. So it's just the whole thing. It's been a hell of an experiment of wasted time is what it's been. But now I'm so close, I have to finish the task. And then that will be the end of it. I feel like I'm strong enough for that. The Cavs clinched a playoff spot last night as well. They beat the Warriors 118-111. The big news in the association, though, was the injury to Luka Doncic, who injured his left hamstring. Lakers are getting bombed by the Thunder, and he was down in a heap. Now, he complains constantly, but the way that he's been playing this season is at an MVP level. He's probably, I don't know if he was going to win it, probably going to finish second or third in it, but would obviously decimate any chances that they would have. Now, they were getting bombed in this game. They're down 44-21 at the end of the first quarter. So to Baker's point, how the game has changed, yes, it certainly has, but that would be a massive injury in the association if Doncic is not able to go beyond or is somehow limited in the first round.
There's a video circulating of when Doncic is down. There's a fan heckling him, being like, how's it feel playing defense now? And it's like, oh, man. And I just picture Baker in that spot. Oh, this is what physical play gets you. A torn hammy. Not torn. The MRI's today. We don't know.
He seems to think it is. Wouldn't you say, based on what you see of him on the floor?
It's not great.
It looks like he's in a heap.
Oh, yeah. It's one of those where you see the athlete on the floor holding their hands above their head or on their face, and it's like, that's...
And he'll probably play tomorrow.
Load management. You do not play him tomorrow.
You think it's like
got the soccer flop there.
You might ride the rest of the season without him. You got the Mavericks. Oh, it's an NBC game, so maybe you're right. And that'll be Sunday.
Yeah. You sit him out a little bit. Other big news, kind of in the sports world. It's not necessarily big news, but and I know you have a little bit of this in Thing or Not a Thing, but the dash cam video from Tiger. Good grief. Was just talking to the president. So he rolls his rover and he calls the president.
Or was he calling him during the rollover?
Hey man.
Hey, Donald, I'm in a bit of a pickle.
Can you help me out here?
Can you? What the hell, man? What a mess. What an absolute mess that is.
That's why he looked at his phone. The Don was calling.
He's changing his radio, too, so I wonder.
Changing his radio while talking to the prez.
Do you think... How ticked off is his lawyer right now? Shut up.
The thing that jumped out, with all of it, the thing that jumped out to me, the guy so he skimmed the back end of a trailer of a landscaper. So it was a landscape guy who had a trailer, and by the looks of it, the landscape guy has done quite well. And by the area he's doing the landscaping my guess is he's going to continue to do very well. And the guy was emphatic. I'm fine. I'm good. Nothing to see here. No worries. He doesn't want to lose any.
It's Jupiter Island landscaping.
Yes, can you imagine?
You're working 12 months out of the year.
Tiger's probably his client.
Yeah,
of course. You think about, my God, would I pay landscaping weekly? I can't imagine what it is in Jupiter Beach, Jupiter Isle. Are you kidding? That guy's killing it. Absolutely killing it. All right, coming up next, we have a Final Four that is set. It's about as good as we've had, and the late game Saturday is going to be an absolute doozy. We'll get you set for that in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Aetna was there for me as I was going through a rough medical patch this year. I had peace of mind, which helped with my healing.
Those words from a real Aetna Medicare Advantage member speak to why U.S. News & World Report named us a best Medicare Advantage company. Because we show up on calls with members and doctors' offices when requested. We show up with the latest in online tools for easier access to healthcare. We show up for you. Because that's how healthier happens together. Member feedback has been edited for length and clarity.
It's Timmy Hall here with Gordon Miller, founder of Miller Lending. Now, Gordon, I remember hearing of your no-cost mortgages back in 2008 when I was on the air in Raleigh-Durham. So what brings you to Central Ohio?
Hey, Tim. Small world, isn't it? But we saw Columbus as the perfect market to offer our no-closing cost mortgage product. With a growing population and relocations, it was similar to our original decision to expand into Raleigh back in '96.
Well, I get to see firsthand how well it worked in Carolina. So how about explaining to our listeners how it truly has no closing cost associated?
That's right, Tim. Way back in 1987, I found a way to do mortgages without using the standard method of buying the rate down with thousands of dollars in various costs. Rates were volatile, much like they are today. And folks were stuck at higher rates because it simply cost too much to refinance. There had to be a better way, and we think we found it.
That was Gordon Miller, founder of Miller Lending, the home of the no-cost loan. Give him a call, 877-9-NO-COST, or online at nocostmortgage.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender. NMLS number 2502146.
For over 78 years, our family's been part of your love stories.
At Diamond Seller, we offer bigger diamonds, better prices, and timeless designs for every chapter of your life. From your first yes to your forever I do, trust the jeweler who knows diamonds best. Visit Diamond Seller today.
I take care of the kids, my dad, things at work, but I haven't made time to take care of what I need.
Millions of caregivers experience symptoms of anxiety and depression. Go to mentalhealthcareworks.org to learn how to get the support you deserve. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
What's up? What's up, man? What's up with you?
All right, here's what's up on a Friday edition of the program. Saturday is the Final Four. It is a good one. We get Illinois and UConn first. That's at 6:09. We get Michigan and Arizona in the late game Saturday at 8:49. Who are you rooting for here? You have a rooting interest?
I guess Illinois.
I think I'm rooting for Arizona. That 97 Arizona team kind of made me pay attention to Arizona basketball a little bit. It's crazy they haven't been there since.
Yeah.
So I think I'm rooting for Arizona.
That's Miles Simon, Michael Dickerson, Mike Bibby,
Jason
AJ
Terry.
Bramlett. Jason Terry came off the bench. Yeah, really good team. They beat 3-1s that year. They beat Kansas, who was the number 1 overall, and then I'm pretty sure they beat Kentucky and Carolina to win the title.
Because they were a 4 seed, I believe.
They were. Tournament. They beat Kansas was the number 1 overall. They beat Kansas in the Sweet 16, and then I want to say they played maybe Providence. I'm doing this all off of memory. I think they played Providence in the Elite Eight, and then I think they played Carolina and Kentucky is the way I remember it.
And did they have to play Utah again? Because they played Utah early on in that season, and that was the game because Utah had Keith Van Horn that got me interested in that Arizona team, and I kind of followed them all year. And I think they made them matched up again. That could have been Andre Miller as well.
Andre Miller was on that team. This isn't the most exciting radio,
No,
but
it's
now
not.
I want to see how close I am.
I don't remember if they played them again in the NCAA tournament or not, but I feel like maybe they did.
Oh, God. The old noodle still works, kids.
Yeah, you rolled through it really well.
Wow. So I got it. They beat Kansas. They beat Providence. I did not remember that. That had to be God Sham God. Providence was a 10 seed in that tournament. And then in the final, so then did I have it right? It was Carolina, then Kentucky.
Was that Kentucky team with Ron Mercer and Derek Anderson?
Yeah.
After he left Ohio State?
They won it the next year in 98.
Yeah.
They won it in 96 and 98. Kentucky did. So, Reese, the Illinois, just Big Ten?
Of the 4 teams, I can't stand Dan Hurley. Not rooting for Dusty May because it's Michigan. There's no. I'm wearing an Ohio State quarter zip. Can't do that one. No. Arizona, I don't feel anything for. I do think whoever wins, Michigan, Arizona, they're winning the whole sorry fish. But those 2 teams, that's your national championship. I get it. UConn's had a great run at this thing, but they needed the most insane 5 seconds of a college basketball game I've seen since Evan Turner.
I don't have a problem with that. I think it's right up there. Pretty improbable. There's
Illinois,
about a million things.
I don't want to dump completely on that region. I think it was the Midwest one with Florida as your number 1, but it wasn't the toughest row to hoe.
I think Brad Underwood is really easy to root for. I think he's really. I think he runs a hell of a program. I love the Balkan guys that they've got and those guys that come and watch him play.
And
I think
he's leaned into it too, Brad Underwood.
It's fun, yeah. And I think for all of the negative things I have to say about Illinois football, and I will say in a candid moment that most of the reason I dislike and detest Illinois football so badly is because of the times that I've been there. It's in early November and the weather is just absolutely gross. I'm sure if you went there in September or October, it would be fine. I've been to Illinois once for a basketball game. It's incredible. So, yeah, Illinois is that's an easy one. I Fish and I joke about this all the time. I can still rattle off the 1989 Illinois starting lineup. I could do it in my sleep with that entire roster. So I think they're an easy route. I think Brad Underwood's an easy route. And he had a question about getting to this point because his path is atypical. And Underwood was quick to point out that he's living a dream, baby.
I never doubted, and I don't want to sound arrogant, I've never doubted us getting to a Final Four would happen. I thought we've had other teams capable, but I also know how doggone hard it is to do it. And for that, I just say thank you. I say thank you to everybody involved, and I'm going to get emotional, but it's I've been doing this 39 years, and you dream about this as a kid, and I dreamt about doing it at Illinois back in the day when my wife bought Tyler, who was maybe 2, a Brian Cook jersey, and you knew what a special place this was, and it always has been, and there's been no other thing for me. This is my dream job, and it's very fulfilling to get where we're going.
It's awesome. He's an easy route. I'll be rooting him in Arizona. Will be the 2 rooting interests for me. Dan Hurley's a tough route, but I do respect the hell about the way he goes about his business, and the fact that they are 17-1 in the last 3 tournaments, and their only loss is a 2-point loss to Florida, who ended up winning the national title, and he's back in the Final Four. It's a stupefying thing, and so that one, I'm a little surprised Illinois is favored. I mean, these two have played, and UConn won. I know the rosters are different and minutes were different, but I'm a little surprised Illinois is favored. Leads me to believe that maybe somebody knows something.
Gambling novice here. Doesn't that mean just money's? Because I think they were like a 2.5-point favorite. Is money coming in on UConn?
If it went down,
why it would go down from 2.5 to 1.5 for the Illini.
Sure.
Hurley's a great villain. And so I think he's great for the sport. I think he's great to have. He's headbutting officials. He's swearing at everybody, including UConn fans. So I think this is where you can appreciate the villain, but you kind of have a sympathetic, maybe almost hero-like figure in Brett Underwood and how fun Illinois has been this season. And that's because of these teams. I think I've watched the mostly Michigan basketball, but then Illinois.
Yeah.
So how funny would it be if they do another like Big Ten shirt with Michigan and Illinois basketball on it?
Oh, gosh.
Sell that.
Sling it, yeah. The other one's the headliner. It's Michigan, Arizona. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a little surprised Michigan's favored by 1.5. I think Arizona's the best team in the country. Now, there are some distractions at Arizona. Tommy Lloyd is the head coach at Arizona. There is a vacancy in college basketball that is, in a lot of people's estimation, the best job in the sport, men's basketball or football. The Carolina job is open. A lot of people think he's going to take that job. There have been 0 rumors about who is going to take the job at Carolina. He has had availability over in Indianapolis and has been asked about the opening at Carolina. Here is his answer to that question.
Listen, I got my full focus on this team. Nothing is distracting me. And that's just how I've decided to approach it. I'm excited. I thought we had a really good practice today. I'm excited to plan for a practice tomorrow. And Myron, you've got to know me over the years. I'm a simple guy. I'm kind of just one thing at a time. I'm not a multitasker. You can ask my wife. So I'm 100% locked in on Arizona basketball right now, and I'm excited to see what this team can do. I have a real strong belief in this team, and this team deserves my full attention, so that's what I'm giving them.
Now, so, Bake, you and I were talking off air, and Reese looping you in on this. I understand why it's asked. I don't think it has to be asked over and over again. That's a press conference. There is a pool there that you can get the quotes. Okay? You ask him once, are you taking the job at North Carolina? That's the answer he gives you. You may not like the answer, but to continue to do it, I don't know what you want him to say. I really don't. I'm not going to North Carolina. Well, what if he is? What if he is going to Carolina? Clearly those conversations have taken place. And I don't know that the Carolina job is exponentially. I think Arizona's a hell of a job. It's a heck of a job, man. But I just think like the continued asking of the question is what bugs me. Like ask it once, maybe have a follow-up, and then that's it.
Yeah, I'm with you, Bo. I hate that he's at this point with this team, and he has to be asked about this. I understand why it's asked, and maybe he didn't help himself with his answers.
I'll push back.
I don't know what you're supposed to say. This is the first time he's been like, my full focus is on Arizona and this team. He hasn't done that yet. He said he loves Arizona, and he kind of has tippy-toed around it a little bit. Talked about the next coach at Arizona is going to be a great coach too, and yada, yada. And this is the first time, maybe this will end it, where he says, hey, my full focus is here. I'm with you, Bo. Ask the question once. You're not going to get the answer you want, and everybody can move on.
Reese, how would you answer it?
So the first time it's brought up, have there been any because this was 2 weeks ago, I think, when it was first brought up. Have you had any conversations with North Carolina, with Arizona? I would have said my full focus 100% is this Arizona basketball team. My full focus is to the University of Arizona and to these players that I'm coaching. I won't be discussing anything after that. It's this season, what we're doing right now. My focus is here. My focus is now. And then it gets asked again, and I would just repeat that statement. Because what he's done is, like Baker said, kind of tiptoed around it. And when you make a statement like there'll be great, there's been great coaches, there'll be great coaches after me.
Well, that was last week, right? When
that was the second
regional final.
Time.
So we've in the past 2 weeks had comments from Tommy Lloyd about the UNC job 3 different times. Yeah. And I understand from a media perspective where the UNC story is bigger probably nationally than anything related to Arizona, even if the Wildcats are in the Final Four. I think what's going to happen at UNC's got more drama. And Tommy Lloyd not doing himself any favors adding to that drama with answers that have been kind of as vague as the last 2. That one that we just played is pretty good. That's what I would have had to lead with that.
Okay,
lead with that one. But the fact that he didn't has left this door open for it.
Which job would you take if you were offered them both?
Arizona. I'm staying in Arizona because then so there's the weather. I'm able to keep
sunny all the time.
I'm able to keep my roster, except for the ones that are going to be, expiring eligibility. I'm able to then go back to the university and say, hey, I'm in the Final Four. UNC's calling. I'd like a raise. And I think the Big 12 is a stronger basketball conference, and you're able to kind of be the top dog in that. I'd stay Arizona.
I think they're both great jobs.
Sure, this isn't me saying UNC sucks, but if you're asking me to choose one or the other.
I think the history of North Carolina wins out here, and we just talked about it. Arizona hasn't been back to the Final Four since 1997.
Yeah, it's been
right. It's been a long time since they've been back there. Is it no team west of Texas has won the national championship since then either?
Yeah, UCLA won in 95, Arizona won in 97. UCLA hasn't been back.
I think
Gonzaga's played for it twice.
Yeah, I think you get more swings at it in North Carolina historically. I think that's where I'd go.
My view of it would be it's a lifestyle choice. If you go be the coach at North Carolina, you are in the biggest pressure cooker of the sport, arguably. And you're going to have to play games in front of Roy Williams, and you're going to have all of that stuff, and you have Jordan's jersey above you and all that stuff. Arizona, you can win the same way you can win at Carolina, pretty close anyway, probably have similar resources. And then from a weather standpoint, that's the first thing I went. But it could be just because we just got out of a brutal winter, so that could be it.
Yeah, Ohioans probably aren't the best to ask when you're talking about Arizona or North Carolina.
Carolina weather's better than here in Chapel Hill.
I don't think the weather in Chapel Hill is terrible.
But Tucson, you're talking sunshine every single day. We'll get some perspective on the game that most people think is the de facto national championship. Michigan and Arizona. Clayton Safy covers the Wolverines at Wolverine.com. He'll join us coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Low testosterone can be a real problem for many men. It causes poor sleep patterns, decreased energy, low sex drive, and it makes it really hard to stay in shape. And as we all know, a healthy body is very important to our overall health and well-being. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if some or all of these symptoms sound like you, we can likely help you be done with low T. We can also help you lose weight, support your metabolism, improve your gains in the gym, and more with our new targeted body composition plans featuring GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, and more. Our low T protocols, applied in conjunction with our body composition plans, will help most men see real improvements, true weight loss, higher energy, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and a renewed sex drive as well. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Hey, it's Austin Ward. Listen to The Beat with Austin and Byrne, now powered by the Waterworks and Header Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Get the latest Buckeye news, insights, and unbeatable analysis every day. Don't miss a moment. Stream The Beat with Austin and Byrne, sponsored by the Waterworks and Header Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to power your progress, so you can give everything you've got, all for just 1 cent down. Whether you want to get the most out of our best-in-class equipment or go all in with free fitness training, our trainers are ready to help you get stronger than ever before. Take your workout to the next level at Planet Fitness. Join the club today for 1 cent down, $15 a month. No commitment. Deal ends Friday, April 10th. You ready? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
I'm Jeff Hogan. I've been a journalist at 10 TV for more than 20 years. I moved back to Columbus with my beautiful wife and our 2 amazing daughters and our golden retriever, Harley. This community brought me back because this is where I feel connected. Where my daughters were born, this is my home. And that is to say, I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. What happens here affects us all. And that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still, it moves. It moves you to act, to verify, to volunteer, to speak up or lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at 10 TV, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Central Ohio.
What would it take for my child to only miss half a day of school for treatment?
What would it take to fund a cure for childhood cancer?
It would take all of us to come together to support the research. Join us. Go to childrenscancer.org today.
The Jackets are back at Nationwide for a battle with the Jets. Live fan coverage starts Saturday night at 6:30.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating and Cooling.
Proud to be your flagship home of the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Fan.
Mortgage rates have dropped, and the best news is they're expected to go down even more. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. If you've been thinking about buying a new home, now is the time. And with Third Federal's Buy Now, Refi Later program, you don't have to wait for rates to drop again. You get the guaranteed lowest rate now, and if rates drop later, even after you close, you can refinance to a lower rate for free. That's right, for free. And now with Third Federal's early rate lock, you can lock in the guaranteed lowest rate even before you find a house. So you'll always have the best rate. So don't wait. Call Third Federal today and lock in the guaranteed lowest rate.
Right now at Third Federal, lock in 5.99%, APR 6.02% on a 30-year fixed rate purchase mortgage and refinance later if rates go down for free. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3rd-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for buy now, refi later. Lowest rate guarantee and early rate lock at thirdfederal.com. Equal housing lender.
The Fan Poll is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub, home of award-winning pizza and 32-ounce Yingling drafts for only $4. Reese's mustache is so nice, it has its own area code. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, time to head out on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Conversation with Clayton Safy, thewolverine.com, getting us set for the Final Four. Michigan and Arizona playing the late game. Most people think that it's the de facto national championship. We'll see what UConn or Illinois would have to say to the winner of that. Clayton, thank you so much for taking the time. Let's just start at the beginning. When Dusty May was putting this thing together last spring, the roadmap for this, how did he get all of these pieces to come together? And then behind the scenes, how did they make sure that the resources were there for him to be able to put this type of team together?
Yeah, well, I think it actually starts with year one for Dusty May, and I appreciate you having me on. I think that they played a unique style of ball in his first year last season. He brought Vlad Golden with him from Florida Atlantic, and then they got Danny Wolf out of the Ivy League from Yale. And they played 2 7-footers, as people know, and I think that helped open the eyes of some big men out there. And then I think some things kind of fell their way, right? They were able to get Merez Johnson Jr. from Illinois. He was a backup there. They got a backup center, Adai Morrow from UCLA. I think he was able to help expand their games, elevate their games. And then Yaxel Lendeborg was kind of the the missing piece for this Michigan team, and they had to wait him out till late May because he went through the entire NBA draft process, eventually decided to come back. And look, Michigan wasn't the highest bidder for Jaxa Lendeborg, but he was in the American Athletic Conference, Conference USA, playing against Dusty May's teams at Florida Atlantic, and he actually said he became a fan of Dusty May and his sideline demeanor and the way he heard that he treats the players and things like that, going back years. Plus, Jaxa Lendeborg's biggest mentor, Aaron Johnson, is somebody who Dusty May coached when he was an assistant coach at UAB 15, 20 years ago at this point. So a lot of things kind of fell their way in that regard. Jaxa was looking for a first-round guarantee from the NBA. He didn't get it. He decided to come back to college and play for Michigan. And then the point guard, Elliot Cadeau, out of North Carolina, he was essentially casted off by North Carolina. Their fans celebrated when he entered the transfer portal. I think Michigan was able to reinstill some confidence in him. And talking to Elliot a lot over the last few weeks, that was a big thing for him. He didn't have a lot of confidence coming out of his 2 years at North Carolina, where it was a little bit rocky. He was solid, but not quite to the level of a five-star that he was out of high school. So I think that it wasn't easy. They're playing three guys who were centers on their teams last year in college basketball elsewhere, and they're all starting together. So they had to figure out some things with spacing and what it was going to look like. And but I think Dusty May has shown that he's as adaptable as anybody in his systems, in his ability to, conform to what the landscape looks like in college basketball with the portal and NIL, and was just a heck of a hire. I mean, I thought it was a good hire at the time, but 2 years later to be sitting here in Indianapolis at a Final Four, it just shows you how special of a coach he is, to be honest with you.
He really is. And the Lendeborg story, I love that. People around here don't love it, but I like the idea of how long it goes back, and then the way that he was able to kind of maximize and become Big Ten Player of the Year, then all that comes with it. You go back to, I could go back a couple of months, and it felt like these were the two teams that you kind of circled. Just the makeup of these two teams, talking about Arizona and Michigan. I think a lot of people had them on a very short list of the two teams who you'd say, yeah, absolutely, those two teams would go win a national title. When you think about what you're going to see tomorrow night in Indianapolis, you'll have a front row seat for it. If it's going to go the Wolverines' way, what needs to go their way?
Yeah, it's a great question. And, part of it is these teams are so even. And, I've watched Michigan all year, obviously. And if I was covering Arizona and I had watched them all year, then I would think that, they probably have a slight edge, or, we're all biased in how we view it because the teams are so even. Both are really strong on the interior. Both have great front courts and are athletic and want to play fast. And, Michigan shoots more threes than Arizona. Of course, Arizona famously, doesn't shoot a lot of threes, the least amount of threes out of any high major team this year, yet they're so good offensively at just getting downhill, rebounding their own missed shots. The guy misses a shot, he gets it right back because they're so close in there and they're so big and physical and athletic. So, I think whoever wins the paint battle is going to have a heck of an edge in this game. If it's a stalemate, though, I think then what do you look at? What's the X factor? Is it Michigan shooting? Because Michigan has been shooting the cover off the ball here in the NCAA tournament, high 40s % from three-point range. Is it Jaxa Lendeborg, who I think is the best player remaining in this tournament, especially because Cam Boozer at Duke is now eliminated? Could he be the difference? Could his three-point shooting be the difference in the battle of these front courts? Could it come down to the point guards, Jaden Bradley, the Big 12 Player of the Year, or Elliot Cadeau, who we talked about earlier, who's playing really good ball right now in the tournament? So a number of factors, but I do think it starts with who is going to finish better around the rim and who's going to protect the rim better, because both teams are elite at that. So now we get to, we don't have to debate it any longer. Who's better at each of those things, right? I guess we'll see Saturday night. Is Morez Johnson Jr. told me yesterday, everyone thinks these are the two best front courts. Some people say Arizona, some people say us. Well, we're going to go out and see on Saturday. So in a way, they're even a little bit curious as to how it's going to play out.
Yeah, it's a heavyweight fight in every way. Cadeau's good. He had the allergic reaction, right? But he's good.
Yes, I think he's fine. And in fact, he said he's fine. Dusty May said he's fine. They took him in to get checked out. He said he actually felt fine, but he realized he ate a cashew or something had cashews in it, and he's allergic. And so he kind of preemptively went up to the trainers and doctors and said, hey, just so you know, I'm allergic. I just had this. So they got him checked out, and he made it here yesterday. He said he's full go and ready to go.
Got about 30 seconds for you, buddy. Your gut feeling by the time you get to Monday night around midnight, Michigan cutting down the nets?
Yeah, I'm going to pick them to win close against Arizona, and I think the winner of that game is going to win the game on Monday night. So I'm going to go with Michigan to do that. A heck of a challenge on Saturday. I don't think it's a given that the winner of Saturday's game between Michigan and Arizona beat either Illinois or UConn, because those are two really good teams. But I do think that I think Michigan's going to get it done. I know that people in Columbus are probably thinking, well, yeah, of course he's the homer saying that, but if somebody has to do it, and I do think this is the best team remaining here.
Great stuff, man. Really appreciate your perspective. Enjoy the Final Four. Thank you for your time.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right, there he goes. Clayton Safy, thewolverine.com. Michigan and Arizona will play the nightcap a little bit past 8 o'clock is when that, well into the 8 o'clock hour, when that one will tip on Saturday night. Illinois and, of course, UConn will kick it off. In Indianapolis, you play the conference championship game of the Big Ten. Is that thing about cooked? We'll get into that coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
If the sound of another man slammed against plexiglass turns you on, you've come to the right place. Proud to be your home for Jackets hockey. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
I'm Roger from Columbus. I've lived in Ohio all my life. Owning your home is a cornerstone of the American dream. But for seniors, property taxes keep going up and are costing us everything we've worked for. They're even making it impossible for my grandkids to afford their first homes. Vivek Ramaswamy believes when you own your home, you're in charge. As governor, he'll roll back property taxes to levels from before the end of the pandemic. It's a practical plan that will put thousands of dollars back in your pocket next year while maintaining strong education and dependable police and fire. Ohio's politicians have ignored this crisis for too long. But Vivek Ramaswamy isn't a politician. He's an entrepreneur, and he's ready to fight for you. Ohio needs a leader who makes your life more affordable. That's Vivek Ramaswamy.
Lower costs, bigger paychecks, better schools. Vivek Ramaswamy for governor.
Paid for by Vivek Ramaswamy and Rob McCauley for Ohio.
Bo Bishop here. Ready to hit the road and make some memories? Then get to RCD RV, Central Ohio's go-to destination for the best deals, unbeatable service, and adventure-ready RVs. Start your journey today at any of their 3 Central Ohio locations or visit online anytime at rcdrv.com. Hey there, friends. High Bank isn't just award-winning whiskey. They also make the best vodka in America. With 3 Central Ohio locations serving scratch-made food and craft cocktails, High Bank is perfect for date night, game day, or drinks with friends. Learn more at highbankco.com. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
Progressive's Home Quote Explorer helps you easily find and buy the right coverage for you. It's everything you've always wanted. Well, I mean, as far as a website that lets you shop, quote, and buy insurance in one place. But hey, maybe that is everything you've always wanted. Yeah, people have different types of dreams. And if all you've ever been searching for is a website that helps you choose home insurance rates and coverage, boy, do we have great news about Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Coffee, iced cap, refreshers. Tim Hortons has all your favorite beverages. And now you can get your favorite bite for less. When you buy any size beverage, add a baked daily donut for $1, a tasty bagel for $2, or a freshly cracked hot breakfast sandwich for just $3. So next time you order your favorite Tim's beverage, add something that satisfies your cravings and your wallet. The $1, $2, $3 menu. Only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants. Must ask for offer in restaurant. Tax extra exclusions and terms apply.
Hey, it's Anthony. By now you know my good feet story. But the point I try to get across is that it's an ongoing one for me. For as long as I can remember, it's always been about my lower back. But when I got fitted for my personal arch supports, it's been an absolute game changer. I feel better. They take all the stress off my back. I feel supported and aligned, and you don't hear me complain about it the way I used to. I could feel the difference instantly, and I didn't have to wait to feel that difference. Once I got fitted, popped them in my shoes, took the test walk around the store, and now on a daily basis, everything feels better. And that's what I mean about an ongoing story. This journey to feeling my pain disappear makes everything better. You can make an appointment online or just stop into the Good Feet store in Grove City or the one on Polaris Parkway in Westerville, and their experts will personally fit you. Then do what I did. Take a test walk around, and you will feel the difference. Do your feet a favor. Get started at goodfeet.com.
When you see a Gravely mowing the grass, you're looking at over 100 years of ingenuity in action. You're seeing a rugged, durable machine professional lawn service companies have relied on for generations. Or maybe you see a homeowner who demands the best, cutting their own lawn like the pros. Whether mowing or on a trailer between jobs, when you see a Gravely, you're seeing greatness at work. Take your lawn mowing up a notch with a Gravely. See the full line at your local dealer.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Disasters strike, fires, hurricanes, earthquakes. Direct Relief delivers. No politics, no red tape. Direct Relief is a lifeline to people in crisis. So check them out at directrelief.org. And if you can, donate.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. A fifth straight loss by the Blue Jackets has Columbus on the outside looking in of a playoff spot. CBJ lost 5-1 last night in Carolina to the Hurricanes. The Senators beat the Sabres 4-1 Thursday. Ottawa and Detroit have jumped Columbus, with the Senators occupying that second wildcard spot. All three teams have 88 points. CBJ are back at Nationwide tomorrow against the Winnipeg Jets. In college football, Ohio State will hold Student Appreciation Day tomorrow morning at 10:30. Alabama transfer Quay Russaw became the fifth player to lose their black stripe this spring. In baseball, the Clippers are on a 5-game winning streak and will host the Indianapolis Indians tonight at 6:15. In the majors Friday, the Guardians have the Cubs at 4:10, home opener at Progressive Field. The Reds begin a series in Texas against the Rangers. First pitch there is 4:05. Hear it over on the Fan 2. That's 1460 on the AM dial. This update is sponsored by Eco Plumbers. Get $500 in free repairs when you buy a new water heater. Visit geteco.com and book today.
With friends like these, who needs former college football players? This is Bishop and Friends.
Don't even think about it. Just answer without giving it much thought. First number that comes to your head. If college football is going to get to a point where we've kind of laid out where we think the only way it need to go, how far in the future is that?
5 years.
What do you think, Beck?
5 to 10.
And I say 5, thinking in my head, aren't all the media deals up around that point, 2031, 2030?
Except that ridiculous ACC one, but you can get they can get out of that one after 2029. In my conversations down in Florida last week,
isn't there a clause too that if they restructure the whole league, then teams can just kind of do whatever they'd like?
If certain amount of the league, that's why they pivoted so quickly to Stanford and Cal in the ACC to keep that number. I think that's probably about where I am. Now, I think maybe a better question is, will they ever get there? And that you might say no. They might not ever get there. If they get there in 5 or 10 or whatever it is, they will do so kicking and screaming. Think how long it is taking them to get to some of the headspace they're in now. I mean, think of the conversations we had earlier this week about Tuberville and trying to say, okay, let's get an age restriction on this, 5 years to play 5, 1 transfer. Those seem like relatively manageable jumping off points. It's the first legislation that we've seen addressed that does not address some sort of cap on NIL or pay for play for athletes. It's the first one that's had that. Now, Paul was quick to throw water on it yesterday when we had him on in terms of the potential effectiveness of it. So we'll see. And by the way, we weren't crowning it. We knew that nothing was going to come of it. It was just a matter of at least this was a realistic jumping off point. One of the many things that has to happen if you are going to continue to expand the sport, and they are, because they're looking for money in every way that they can. So you're going to get to a 16-team playoff at some point. I don't know that the Big Ten's what was Petiti at, 24 team? Is that where his number was?
Yeah, he wants 24.
24. No one is signing up for that, but there seems to be some momentum for 16. And anytime we talk about 16, and this goes back 5-6 years on the program, we've said, well, okay, fine, but the first thing you've got to do is you got to get rid of the conference championship games. And in fact, on so many occasions, I've laid out how you ought to do this, and I'll do it as quickly as I can right now. You make week 0, week 1, you play the Ohio State-Michigan game before Thanksgiving. You take that following weekend off, Thanksgiving weekend off. You play Army-Navy. That's it. You get rid of the conference championship games. You play a 16-team tournament starting the first weekend in December. It's all wrapped up by, if you insist on playing the national championship game on a Monday night, then it's all wrapped up by the second Monday in January, and we're done. And that's it. And it's not that hard. It's pretty easy to do. And so that's where you got to go. But one of the things that has to happen in that is you got to get rid of the conference championship games. There's no benefit to playing these games. None. These were made for TV products that networks loved, that conferences got rich on. The SEC was the first to do it. Roy Kramer was then the commissioner of the Southeastern Conference. It was pretty innovative at the time. He basically begged CBS to take it in the beginning. Think how far we've come. Like, CBS was like, wait, what? We're going to do what? And they did. And then it became kind of the model for everybody else. And their championship game, and I've said this before, it is the one that to me still hits different, because people down there, and Paul even mentioned this, he goes, people don't think about the Civil War as much up there as they do down here. And I've talked about this. Like, for them, if they win the SEC championship game, that's a mini little national title for them. It means a ton. I don't know that it's meant that way up here, I think in large part because the Big Ten really fumbled the divisions for the longest time. And so you didn't get those haymaker championship games that you would get out of the Southeastern Conference for the longest time. You think about all of the opponents. I mean, we played Northwestern twice for Big Ten championships. Like, that's not it. That ain't it. Now, you got a heavyweight fight last year, but what was the cost of that? And did it do Indiana or Ohio State any good to play in that game? Probably not. So when you have an athletic director who is the athletic director of the biggest brand, the biggest historical brand in that conference, like Greg Byrne at Alabama, and he says, quote, I think the ship has sailed. It's run its course on the SEC title game. That's an attention getter. That's an attention getter. He added, I don't like the idea of it going away, but I think it's reality with an expanded playoff. I think we need to pick a lane. We are headed for 16. There seemed to be some pressure for 24. So as soon as we get to 24, I guess you could say, well, we better go to 48. I mean, at some point we have to pick a lane. And he's right on that. And he's right on this. He's absolutely right on this as well.
You say 48 teams?
He did. Yeah, I think the point of it is his line of, we need to pick a lane. We need real leadership to say this is what this is going to look like.
It's like your dad when you're like, oh, you want to invite 2 friends over? Well, just invite everybody then.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, did that sleepover happen last night?
No.
Okay.
Not that he didn't try. Certainly tried.
They're off today. It's Good Friday.
Went to yeah, sure. Guess who's not? So he texts me he said it's a golf simulator, NBC is last night. And he's like, do you mind if these guys, I'm like, dude, I work tomorrow. And he's like, we'll be quiet, I promise. Do you know what his promises are worth? The breath that they're used to come out of his mouth. That's what they're worth. Now, a little bit of a... did that stop me from being awoken at 1:25 in the morning? No. Was he part of the reason for being awakened at 1:25 in the morning? Yeah. Who's the other culprit? My wife. They were having a real chat. Middle of the night. I go, what are you doing? And first she was kind of defiant. She goes, we're talking. I go, look at the clock, man. It's 1:25. I need some sleepy time, for crying out loud. So I guess in the way, he did have a sleepover. Kirby Smart also echoed on this. He spoke with Chris Lowe of On3, shared a similar opinion. Where we're right now with 12 teams, I don't necessarily agree that it needs to quit being played, but if it gets to 16 or 24, we've got to move to the end of the season up, and we've got to get everything done by the second week of January. Then I'd say it probably has to go. Everybody's on board with our calendar, boys.
Yeah, get it done early January.
Yeah.
The whole thing. Be done with it before Martin Luther King Day.
What does that set us up for from a... Let me see. I want to do a...
Because it would eliminate the first week of December where you have your championship games. So you might be able to get a week off there and then start the playoff that second week in December, or maybe even start it conference championship weekend, or what used to be.
What I would do in college football if I were them, and we'll get into some comments about playing on Friday, which we're not a fan of at all. But at this point of the year, the high school football is long done. I would play. So for next year, the national semifinals should be on. They're not, but they should be on Thursday, New Year's Eve. And I would play on both New Year's Day. That's a Friday. New Year's Day is the Friday. I would have in my plan, I would have the semifinals played New Year's Day, Rose Bowl, Sugar Bowl, whatever it is, one in the afternoon, one at night, play it on Friday, January 1st. Then I would play the national championship game the following Friday, the 8th. And I would not do Monday. I would do Friday. I think that would be the preferred. That's what I would prefer as someone who consumes it, to have it lead into a weekend versus coming, starting a work week and people getting up early and you're playing games until midnight. Play it on Friday. Nobody cares if you play till midnight on Friday. So I'd play the semifinals on the 1st. I'd play the national championship game on January 8th, and away we go. Now, aren't they doing it the 25th of January?
Yep.
God.
Might be even later in 2020.
Guys, that is 3 full weeks. If it's the 25th, it's 3 full weeks after New Year's Eve. You just get swallowed up by the league. But it takes leadership.
Someone's got to actually be you have to lead from a position where you're not pointing fingers, and all the leaders like to do is point fingers.
I think that's funny with Greg Byrne right here.
Yeah.
Like he's like, I don't like this, but we need leadership. Aren't you one of the leaders, dude?
I think that he is. You're right, Bake. He is. And I also think that his commissioner is leading in this way. They want 16. And the fact that the athletic director at Alabama is saying, yeah, we can be done with this thing, that's an attention getter. The fact that Kirby Smart is saying we need to move this thing back a week and we got to get done by the second week in January, that's all a thing. People didn't used to talk like this, guys. 3 years ago, people didn't talk like this. It's not a necessity, but they are now.
It's crazy that these guys in Petiti can't get in a room and Ross and the Big Ten and SEC and iron this thing out. It's crazy that they can't just get in there and, well, I want 24. Well, I want 6. Figure it out, dude, and let's go. Everybody will follow you.
It reminds me of a conversation that I have with my wife 4 or 5 times a year. And we're headed into a crazy next couple of weeks with AAU and lacrosse and driving in and out and all of the things that we've got going on. And she'll want to sit down and talk to me about the 66 things that we have to get done in the next 2 weeks. And my approach is, what do I get to get done today? And I think that's where these guys are. They're worried about trying to fix the entire sport in one fell swoop. Fix the calendar first. Get that right. Get the playoff number that you want right. I think it's 16. I hope that they hold firm on that. Keep it at 16. Go 1 versus 16, 2 versus 15. Bracket it out. Away you go. It'd be a blast. You're done second week of January. Fix that first. And then you can start to tackle the other things. The frustration that people have with this is they are not fixing anything. They're not fixing anything. As soon as you start talking about, well, fixing this problem, they're like, well, what about NIL? What about free transfer? What about... No. Just do this. This one's doable. You can do this. This is not that hard. You can knock this out in a Saturday afternoon at a Marriott property somewhere very nicely. You can do it very easily. This could be done in an afternoon. Just tackle this and then get on to the other things. One of the things that we've had to deal with a lot, and it was a big talking point last season, was big noon kick. Well, a mega powerhouse in the sport has a similar beef with Fox. We'll get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Spring cleaning isn't just for your house, it's for your life. If your job is getting old, it's time to clear the clutter and spring into IT. Go to My Computer Career.
My Computer Career helped me get the skills and certifications I needed to start a new life as an IT professional in months, not years.
Earn the certifications the top employers are looking for right now. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation to see if it's time to spring into IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
I'm Jeff Hogan. I've been a journalist at 10 TV for more than 20 years. I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. And that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it moves. It moves you to act, to speak up, or lend a hand. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at 10 TV, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Central Ohio.
Hey folks, Austin Ward here. You know, there was a time if you handed me a bread basket at dinner, it was like feeding a gator. You might lose a finger. Bread, pasta, pizza, man, carbs were undefeated in my life. That is, until Awaken 180 weight loss came in and flipped the script. Look, I've run the gauntlet of diets, and each time, carbs won by knockout. But Awaken 180 isn't a diet. It's a whole new playbook for changed-up lifestyle. We all know it's necessary to lose that weight, but this is to keep it off. That constant carb craving, the one we all shrug off as normal, gone. Sure, I still love my pizza, but here's the difference. Now I don't need it. So now, most times when that waiter hustles over with a basket of temptation, I just grin, give a little nod, and wave it away like I'm passing on a 4th and long. Because I'm in control now. Awaken 180 isn't just a game changer, it's a life changer. Trust me. Call them at 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com. Your future self will thank you.
Menards has everything you need to grow a thick, lush, and healthy lawn. Keep your lawn looking its best year-round with Menards Premium 4-Step Fertilizer Program, designed to keep your lawn vibrant throughout the season. Visit our garden center and see all our lawn care products in store. And don't forget to check out our weekly flyer on menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards. Your favorite fan shows are available as a podcast. What a concept. And don't miss exclusive podcast content like Austin and Byrne. Listen on your schedule from anywhere in the world. Available wherever you get your podcasts.
Does your HVAC struggle through this rough winter? When it comes to your home comfort, trust the local experts at Columbus Worthington Air. Right now, you can save up to $2,000 on a new HVAC system with our trade-in allowance program. At CWA, we treat your home like it's our own with safe, reliable service backed by our exceptional service guarantee. Columbus Worthington Air and Bryant Heating and Cooling. Whatever it takes. Visit CWAOhio.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 47543.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, commercial properties. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or give us a call and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Chances of showers and storms for us this afternoon. Otherwise, it'll be partly sunny and breezy with highs getting up into the low 80s. For tonight, shower and thunderstorm chances linger overnight. Otherwise, mostly cloudy with lows in the 60s. And then for Saturday, we'll see partly sunny skies with chances of showers and storms developing in the afternoon. Breezy winds and highs in the low 80s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Catch T-Bone and Tyvus weekday mornings from 6 to 9. If you're not completely satisfied, we'll rewind time and erase your brain. For real, The Fan, taking the art of sports radio and day drinking to a whole new level. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
And, of course, we are proudly brought to you by our great friends at Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for nearly 8 decades. Sawmill, Easton, they'll take care of you, either side of things. buddy of mine's daughter is announced or made the decision yesterday that she's going to go to South Carolina. And he was talking to some folks who were South Carolina alumnus, and one of the things they said, well, you got to get to a game. And he's like, well, yeah, I'm going to get to a game. And he's like, well, make sure it's a night game. And when I was down in Tallahassee last week, taking a look at the Florida State facilities, one of the things that the athletic director there, Michael Alford, made abundantly clear is Saturday nights at Doak. So this is Saturday nights at Death Valley, Saturday nights in Tuscaloosa, Bryant-Denny, all that stuff. They want to play under the lights, and they want that atmosphere, which is just better. It is. We know it here. We've lamented it a million times. The Texas game should have been at night. You couldn't make it work with the television partners, and Texas didn't acquiesce, and so it wasn't. And we also can acknowledge and know that as long as this television package is in play, Ohio State is not going to play a meaningful home game at night. Full stop. As long as they're good, they're not. You can look at next year's schedule and the showcase games at Indiana. Obviously, that's already going to be noon. They play on Halloween in Los Angeles. That one can't be noon, so that'll either be 3:30 or night, probably an NBC game with our good buddy Joshua Perry. But Oregon's here, November 7th. That's big noon. Michigan's going to be big noon, as it should be, as always. So you just aren't going to ever get to play it here, and it stinks. It stinks. And if you're looking for proof of how bad it stinks, just realize the amount of effort that was put in last year to try to get the Texas game moved. I mean, they did about everything that they could to try to move the game. And even I'll give Fox a little bit of credit. Fox was open to finding another spot for it, but it took Texas saying, we're willing to do it, and Texas recruits against Ohio State, and they weren't going to have it. So in that same vein, a similar issue is taking place down in the Big 12. Brett Yormark, the commissioner of the Big 12, is one of the most forward-thinking guys, I think, running one of these conferences. He's a little bit there's a little bit of a used car salesman, but a damn good one. Damn good used car salesman. He's been pretty smart with most of the things he's done. I don't think a glass basketball court was the smartest thing, but he was smart enough to realize that it wasn't a smart thing, and he got it switched after one day. So realize there was a mistake, let's move. I think they've been really smart with their expansion, understanding their limitations. I think their conference still, for the most part, makes some sense. He leaned into basketball in a big way. That has benefited them tremendously. One of the other things that he's done is he said, we're willing to play. We'll play anywhere, anytime. Let's go. Just get us on national television. And one of the times that they will be asked to play is on Friday nights. Well, that rubs Cody Campbell the wrong way. If you're curious who Cody Campbell is, or you need a reminder, if you're watching the Final Four this weekend, you'll probably see him a lot. He's the super Texas Tech booster who has basically benefactor who lifted them in all of their sports over the last couple of years. He's a former Texas Tech player. He's an oil man is what he is. He's a landman. And so he's got some infinite cash, and he's their mega donor, and he's the one that's making it. And he's taken a forward-facing position on the future of college athletics the way that no other person who, really more than anybody. I mean, I was going to say nobody who is not employed by a university, but he's taken a bigger face on it than anybody. He's buying time. You'll see him in the Final Four talking about the changes that need to be made. So Texas Tech plays Houston on September 19th, Saturday, September 19th. On Monday, they got word that it was going to be moved to Friday night, September 18th. Now, you'd have to, if you're listening to this show, you're probably aware of Friday Night Lights, and you're probably aware of the book, the movie, or the TV show, or if you're like me and I think Reese, you've seen them all. Read it and seen them all. And you know that it takes place in West Texas at Odessa Permian, and you know that Lubbock is near. In fact, if you were going to go to Odessa Permian, you'd probably fly into Lubbock, would be my guess, and then drive out there. And so maybe Midland, hard to say. But you get the point. Cody Campbell tweets out yesterday, Friday Night Lights are sacred in the great state of Texas. It is absolutely absurd that the Big 12 and Fox would consider scheduling Texas Tech Houston on Friday night. I know that Brett Yormark is not a native Texan, but he's been here long enough to know better. Come on, man. Yormark then responds to the Lubbock Avalanche Journal, great name for a newspaper, by the way, Cody Campbell does not run the Big 12. Our board and our ADs approve playing 12 games a year off of Saturdays in an effort to raise profile, narrative, and viewership of Big 12 football. Texas Tech is hosting a primetime game on Friday, delivers that. Campbell snaps back. Apparently, Brett didn't get the memo. Everything runs through Lubbock. Maybe we should bring the tortillas back. So those were banned?
Yes.
Yormark banned them?
Yeah. Big 12 came out and said, you can't throw anything on the field.
You think he's got the power to get this switched?
No.
I don't either.
But I appreciate him going to bat for what is a sacred institution in Texas, just like it is in Ohio. Mm-hmm. Campbell played high school, college football in the state of Texas. Campbell gets it. Texas Tech, Houston, both Texas schools understand the importance of Texas high school football on Friday nights. It's the exact same argument I would hope somebody would have here. Mm-hmm. If it ever came to it that Ohio State would host a night game at the Shoe on a Friday night, I'd hope there would be somebody that would step up and say, no, that's unacceptable to happen. Now, for Campbell, because now I think he's on the board of regents for Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Like, that's feels like so he's Monty from Landman without the dead. For those who kind of need a understanding of how Cody Campbell came to be, was he made his millions doing what similarly Monty did. I don't know if the Permian Basin, if it's the same spot in Texas, but the story's similar. And there's so much love for Cody Campbell and him in the school that's why he's pouring his millions that come out of the ground that he will never stop because he loves Texas Tech football so much. I'm glad to see I'm glad to see their pushback against these networks and how insane things have gotten with content and inventory relative to their football games.
I think if anybody can get it changed, it's him. Now, can he? I don't know.
Probably if he's the best
option. He's got the money, and he's obviously not afraid to stick up or stand up and say what he thinks on the matter, and I'm guessing he's probably going to do everything he can. Now, I don't know if that's enough, but he's a guy that's willing to write a check, and he's a guy that if he's stand on his convictions here, and I don't know if that's enough, but if there's anybody that can, there's nobody like this on Ohio State side, that's for sure.
No.
Money-wise or willing to stick their neck out.
Not anymore, money-wise. I do wonder, every time that we talk about this from the Buckeye perspective and we talk about playing on a Friday night, I'm like, absolutely not. Stay out of it. But I do get people who push back to me that say, if I could have a Friday night, I would take that over a big noon. Like, for example, they would have rather played Texas on Friday night than play it at noon. I'm the way you are, and I know how you are.
Person.
I know. I know it. And, Bake, I know how you feel about this, with what high school football means to you. And I feel that way. I'm with you guys on that. But I do get people that say, not everybody is into high school football on a Friday night. And that's true. Not everybody is. And so there's that voice of it too. And I'm with you guys. I think Campbell's probably the guy to be able to try and get this done. I don't think anything will get done because these agreements were done. One thing I think we're learning about all of these television agreements, these commissioners of these conferences, and I'm not saying this is the case with Yormark, but it's definitely the case with the previous leadership in the Big Ten, they did not read the fine print. They did not. The commissioners didn't read the fine print on some of these contracts, and in turn, the athletic directors and presidents did not read the fine print on some of these contracts because you signed up for stuff that in some instances, and I think this is one of them, where you did not intend to. Tim May in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. As a longtime homeowner, I know how it goes when it comes to things that need to be fixed around the house and you just haven't gotten to them. Like maybe that leaky faucet that always has a drip. You think about it, but you never take care of it, and now it's just a part of the house. It's character. Maybe it's your windows that are always sticking and you can't get them open. So you just don't think about it. Who cares? Except now the weather's nice. You want to open the windows, and again, you can't because they're not fixed. Get new windows from Window Nation. They've made it easy to get top quality custom fit windows with their the more you buy, the more you save sale. You could save up to 50% off all your windows. Plus, you could get them with 0 interest for 5 years. Did you know investing in your home is actually one of the best investments you can make, especially in uncertain times? Experts report that windows retain 80% of their value. Energy efficient, beautiful windows from Window Nation with great deals going on now. Schedule your free consultation at windownation.com.
Got this. Breathe. You got this. You got this.
In the moments that truly matter, what do? Rise to the occasion. Ohio Health. It's time.
Remember your first football game? The sound of the crowd, the smell of the grill, the moment you fell in love with the game. This spring break, pass that moment on. At the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, families walk through the greatest moments in football history and create new memories of their own. See the legends, experience the history, share the game you love. Make the Hall of Fame part of your spring break road trip. Plan your visit today at ProFootballHof.com.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Distilled sports discussion served in light beer quantities. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Indeed you are. Time to head out on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline conversation as we do every week at this time with our good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show with Clay Hall. You're always paying attention to quite everything that comes out of the Woody Hayes. What has intrigued you here in the last week up there, buddy?
Brock Boyd's emergence, but you know what? If you did your homework on him, you knew that was a good chance that this guy was going to make a splash, that he would lose his black stripe before Chris Henry Jr. I'm not sure anybody saw that coming. Mm-hmm. But just I heard you guys talking about where you'd fly into if you flew into Midland or if you flew into Lubbock.
How would you do that?
I think there might, I may be wrong, there might be as many flights from Dallas or Houston to Lubbock to Odessa Midland or Midland Odessa, I think is what they call it.
It's Midland, right? That's the town, right?
Well, Midland and Odessa, they're twin cities.
But
twin
Midland's
towns.
bigger, right?
I think they're about the same, pretty much.
Okay.
I mean, one may be slightly larger, but I think they share an airport, number one. Number two, they share a passion for Friday Night Lights, you know. So,
well, what did you make of that? Let's stay there for a second. What did you make of Cody Campbell saying, we're not having it? Now, I don't know what he can do about it, but what did you make of it?
Here's the thing. You like a guy standing up for that, you know. I mean, but then the flip side of it is he's not running things. You know, yeah, he may be on the Board of Regents or something, but I think we found out two things there. How passionate he is for Texas Tech football and Texas high school football. But we also found out he's not running things, you know, and you know, based on the diatribe you laid out there. But the interesting thing, Bo, we've talked about this a long time ago in your show. You know, like you just said a minute ago in your little tag before you went to commercial break to make money. By the way, that's what TV is about too. For these making money, the advertisements. When I heard an athletic director use football and basketball games under the term of inventory for the networks like 20 years ago, and well, things definitely have gone and changed irrevocably, and that's what you're talking about. I mean, they can put you on aisle 3 or, you know, in a grocery store or on the backside of aisle 14, you know. So that's what we're talking about here more than anything else. And that you've got to, you know, back in the day, some of that money was considered to be a bonus. Now it's factored into your yearly budget, your annual budget. You have to have it, and you do have to kowtow. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it is. And where do you stand on? I really think that in many instances that they don't know necessarily what they signed up for.
Oh, I agree. I mean, I think it's one of those things you pay attention to that, but what you really see is that number behind the dollar sign. You know? And that's the number that matters. Playing a football game at 3:30 on Friday afternoon, well, that just comes with the territory. You don't do it every week, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm being facetious there, but yeah, I mean, you got to pay attention to money now, dude. I mean, you know, I'm sure Ross Brewer said the same thing to you guys. He said on my Tim May show here a couple of months ago. You know, he probably 80-90% of his job is figuring out a way to round up funds, either for keeping NIL people happy, keeping donors happy, making sure he's paying attention to televised games when they start, when they don't, et cetera. And it's just really remarkable to me how Ryan Day and his staff maneuver playing a game at noon one week and 7:30 p.m. the next, and then 3:30 the next. I mean, you talk about biorhythms all screwed up. I mean, it's really interesting what they do with the schedule, especially with college football for the big-time teams and anymore.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and I think from the Ohio State perspective on that, I don't think Ohio State ever considered that every big home game that they would play until 2029 is going to be played at noon.
Right.
But that's the reality.
Unless a big game happens, by consequences that happen after the season sort of starts, But no, you're exactly right. I mean, but then again, if you're talking to somebody who likes noon starts, so that's me.
Yeah, but they don't. They don't want to play every game at noon.
No, heck no. I mean, but dude, what's interesting is, here's the talk about, you saw, the athletic director at Alabama saying maybe it's time to get rid of the SEC championship game, which, by the way, they won the first one on the 5th anniversary of my wife and I's wedding in 1992. I know that because we took a trip to Vegas. I watched it on this big projection screen at Sam's Town. That's another story.
That's
for
pretty good.
Day.
Hey, that was at Legion Field in Birmingham, too.
Yes, it was. Alabama versus Florida. And great game, as it turned out, et cetera. But the interesting thing is, I mean, if you hear Jerry Jones or whomever talking about going to 18 games in the NFL, and with two off weeks, I think, for the teams, right? That was one of the proposals. Dude, they're going to be starting in August. I mean, to fit that into a calendar, college football is going to have to be starting in August, especially if you go to this ridiculous 24-team playoff, which I'm not in any sense an advocate of. 16 is max. I mean, there aren't 24 teams deserving of playing for the national championship after a full regular season. But if you stay with 12 regular season games, which, by the way, you pretty much have to pay the bills, right? The big-time schools. So you've got to have 12 regular season games, and then if you go to 16, that's, everybody plays 4 extra games. Well, 2 teams play 4 extra games, but that's 4 extra games you have to wedge into a schedule. It's got to start in August. I like how they keep hanging on to that week 0 like that. What people don't even know what
That just make it week 1.
Ever.
Just make week 0 week 1.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. And then it all fits. By the way, if you do that, it all fits.
Exactly. So that's what we're headed to. Is we're headed to the NFL and college football starting in August across the board in the next couple of years. I mean, I don't know how you would work it out. And then, but college football is so they still want to keep the bowls, the other bowls happy, and I don't blame them because only 16 teams make the playoffs. You got to be playing for something, but it's just you're trying to please everybody, and it's and also you're trying to please yourself. There's so much selfishness involved in major college sports, especially football, like you pointed out a while ago about no give and take on the noon start for Ohio State, Texas. That probably would have been one of the highest rated regular season games of the year, if not the highest. I mean, it was such so much pomp going into that game. It was nuts. But that's where we are. Everything's selfish. Everything starts from a selfish viewpoint and moves out.
It does, yeah. And I do think you talked about Greg Byrne, the athletic director at Alabama. We were talking about that. I do think the fact that he's saying it, Kirby's saying it, Sankey's saying it, there is I had Feinbaum
on. Sort of saying it. Kirby's saying, well, wait a minute now. Tell me what the playoffs going to look like before I go that direction. Go ahead.
We have Paul on every week, of course, and he was talking about that. He used a line yesterday on the show here, like barbarians at the gate down there. And I spent a week down there last week and talked to some various friends down there, and they are fed up. Now, I'm not going to say that it's coming from the most altruistic spot. They're fed up, I think, in part because they don't have the advantages that they used to have. It's been a while since an SEC team's won a national championship, so they want to get back to that too. And so you use the word selfish. Yeah, it's incredibly selfish what they're trying to do. But I do think that them and the Big Ten together are going to decide how this thing goes. The question is, who is going to front that from the Big Ten's perspective? Is there still faith in Petitti? Because his private equity play did not work, Tim. Nobody bought into that. His 2014 playoff has landed on completely deaf ears. Does he still have the juice to do it? I would have thought for a while it would have been Ted Carter would have had a big say in that, but obviously he's gone now. So who's leading this from the Northern perspective?
I didn't mean to laugh, but well, it depends. I mean, what is the message you're trying to get out there on a consistent basis that everybody can agree to? You know what I mean? And they haven't come up with one. That's the problem. And, they've got a contract for the Big Ten Championship game with Fox through, I can't remember what it goes through, and they parceled it out too. But the bottom line is you got to get everybody, it was the word Urban Meyer used all the time, alignment. You got to get everybody in alignment first and agree and selling it. But 24 teams is stupid. In my personal opinion, that's stupid. That's putting guys in jeopardy that don't need to be in jeopardy. I'm talking about football players. And then I think the first round of that, a lot of people are going to watch it because it's football, but it's not going to be the gangbuster thing everybody thinks. And you've got to get you've definitely got to get the networks on board to up the payoff, so to speak, and how much money is in that turnip. I think we'd probably find out. But that's the problem, Bo, is there's no consistent message even within conferences, much less from just college football as a whole. And until you get to that, I don't know how you can become a bargaining body like they've been talking about, getting to an NFL model where one person or one entity is talking for all. I don't see that ever happening.
No, I don't either. Good chat as always, buddy.
Brock Boyd, I mean, anybody should have seen it coming, man. I mean, wow. Anyway, I'll let you go.
Well, I mean that program down there he came from, brother.
Yeah. And the other
they're
thing,
not screwing around.
The other thing, what a family too. But one other thing, the way they're mixing and matching, like they said they were on the offensive line. I mean, last Saturday Austin Cervell was at right guard, and Ian Moore was at left tackle and stuff. They're continuing to move the chairs around there to find that strongest offensive line. That's going to be interesting to watch, mainly in August, what they finally settle on.
Well done, buddy. Do it again soon.
Hey, always a pleasure. You know that. And by the way, I want your agent because that PT Bo is dynamic.
I'll see you, buddy. There he goes. Tim May. Thing or Not a Thing coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction or your money back. File in the Credit Karma app.
Last year, I had back pain radiating down my right leg. The pain was so bad I was willing to cut my leg off to stop the pain. I could barely walk and had to stoop over when I did just to take pressure off the spine. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. In my professional career, I've represented thousands of people who've had herniated discs and issues with their neck and back, but never fully appreciated what they were going through until it was my turn. It's like trying to describe colors to a blind person who's never had sight. All I can tell you is it hurt like hell, but worse. My daily walk was gone, and that bothered me a great deal. Then I thought of all of you and how much more devastating this type of injury could be for you. My life stopped. I now feel your pain. Just know at Morgan & Morgan, we got your back. I understand. Morgan means more.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Pepsi Prebiotic Cola in original and cherry vanilla. That Pepsi taste you love with no artificial sweeteners, only 30 calories, just 5 grams of sugar, and 3 grams of prebiotic fiber. That great Pepsi taste with even more to love. Pepsi Prebiotic Cola. unbelievably Pepsi.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at runyondentalgroup.com. That's runyondentalgroup.com.
Ever wonder where your go-to maintenance person gets the metal products they need to fix yours and everyone else's problems? The best in the business go to Metal Supermarkets for their wide variety of metal products and shapes to tackle projects from simple to complex. Metal Supermarkets is your source for all metals cut to size and ready fast. No minimum order with maximum service. Visit the family-owned franchise on North Wilson Road or at Columbus at metalsupermarkets.com.
Morning Juice is now on YouTube, weekday mornings starting at 6. If you're a fan of Bobby Carpenter, he's ready to attack and dominate. If you're a fan of Jeff Gutoff, drive directly to a hospital. Seriously, The Fan.
The Reds are on the radio.
And he caught it! No way! What a grab! Noelvi Marte!
Ellie De La Cruz is on his horse, and they're waving him to the house.
Suarez swings, he drives this.
It is gone! Eugenio Suarez puts the Reds on top.
The quest for October baseball is underway. Hear all the action all season long on your home of the Reds.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone here for Window Nation. Spring has arrived, and it'll be a great time to open your windows. But, oh, wait, your windows don't open easily. They leak when it rains. They've got cracked glass. They need repainting again. Ugh. Getting top quality custom fit windows from Window Nation, that's easy and affordable. Right now, during the More You Buy, the More You Save sale, you could save up to 50% off all your windows. Plus, you could get them with 0 interest for 5 years. During uncertain times, one of the best investments you can make is in your home. Experts report that windows retain 80% of their value. With Window Nation, you'll get windows that easily slide open and closed. They are made with top quality seals so they won't leak when it's rainy or windy. And unlike other windows, they're maintenance free. They're so good, Window Nation stands behind them with a lifetime warranty. And they're rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau. Don't wait to put an end to your window problems. Save big with Window Nation's The More You Buy, The More You Save sale. Going on now. Sale ends soon, so visit windownation.com for your consultation.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Bo knows many people. He talks to the interesting ones on this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a Friday. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Indiana football began their spring practices last Thursday. The Hoosiers are going to hold their annual spring game on Thursday, April 23rd at 8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock in the evening. The spring game is going to be on a Thursday of that week because Bloomington is hosting the Little 500, which I learned yesterday is a track cycling race held annually at Bill Armstrong Stadium in Bloomington. It's attended by more than 25,000 people. Kurt Signetti was announced as the pre-race car driver for the Indianapolis 500 on May 24th. That's 52 days from now. Bo, you missed this from last week, but fret not, I had it saved.
Thank you.
Last week, after the Hoosiers completed spring practice number 1, Coach Sig was asked about driving fast.
I bought a new, hold up here now, Audi SQ8 the first summer I was employed here, from down the road there. And that thing's got a lot of horsepower in it. And one night, within the first couple of weeks that we owned it, my wife and I were returning from Ohio to see our son, and there was nobody on the highway.
How long ago?
This would have been summer of 24.
Statute of limitations probably up.
I would not be setting a good example for young people that need to. So, but I wrote it down pretty quick. But it's got a little juice in it. But I'm gonna put the pedal to the metal when they tell me to in Indy.
Thing or not a thing?
Am I starting
it's
to
pretty
like
simple. I win.
I think I'm starting to like him. Gosh. Is this the most improbable story? It's on a short list, the most improbable stories in the history of college football. College sports.
Yes. Sports.
Yeah.
North American sports.
Yeah. That this guy, this Pittsburgh guy, who I think as much as, we now have come to dislike and understand the complete threat that Indiana is coming off of the season and beating us in the Big Ten championship game and everything else, that this Pittsburgh dude who just kind of found his way, and I think most of us would say you'd like to have a beer with the guy. I mean, he seems like a pretty good time. I thought that was really funny how he talked about the statute of limitations, and I wouldn't be setting a good example. He's got a good sense of humor. He had a funny line last week about the transfer of the Marsh kid from Michigan State about the gold cleats. He's, it's, yeah. I get it. By the way, I like for them, I like an 8 o'clock Thursday night spring game. I like that for them. That's pretty smart.
I think this is a thing because it's just more that Bo's going to get to narrate when the Google Me ESPN 30 for 30 or documentary comes out. It's going to be so good. It's going to be so classic. I think just about everybody's had these moments, right? Yeah. Where you get a car, you take it out late at night somewhere where there's nobody around and you open it up. Mm-hmm. I think it's kind of tough now, like talking about it and joking about it with all the Georgia stuff and the Myles Garrett and Shedeur Sanders and all of that. But I feel like we've all done that at one point in our lives. But I mean, good for Signetti. He's like, hey, I'm gonna tromp on the pedal when they tell me to.
I'll tell you what, if he would have bitched about the potholes, I would have narrated it for free. I'll do it for free if he would have complained.
John Gruden opening that box.
I just all of a sudden we're doing the show from Bloomington. Candy striper pants for everybody. Let's go. I mean, if he would have went in on the potholes, I'm in.
Uranus fudge for all.
Yep, everybody gets some. It's the best fudge.
So listening to him last week deliver that line where he's coming over from Ohio and he just pedal to the metal, I instantly thought of you. So I was like, he's got to hear this when he comes back next week.
Unbelievable.
Especially with the news that he's going to be the pace car driver for the Indianapolis 500.
Yeah.
From a light moment to a more serious moment, video of Tiger Woods' arrest last week in Florida was released Thursday. On Wednesday, a judge granted his request to travel outside the United States and enter a comprehensive inpatient treatment facility. Douglas Duncan is Woods' attorney, and he filed the motion citing the golfer's urgent need for an intensive, highly individualized, and medically integrated program, adding, quote, based upon the defendant's treating physician, the out-of-country treatment facility recommendation is based upon the defendant's complex clinical presentation and the urgent need for a level of care that cannot safely or effectively be done in the United States as his privacy has been repeatedly compromised. Thing or not a thing?
Sad. Hopefully a happy ending on this. So where do you think this is? Like, if you were drafting places on the planet, because it seems like what they really want here is just privacy. He just wants to be left alone. So if you were to draft a list of places on the planet that Tiger Woods could go and get a medically, go to essentially a highly individualized, medically integrated program, a.k.a. rehab, where would he go? Where would you go where he would have anonymity?
Spain.
I don't know. Right?
I don't know if he's got in it.
I feel like Egypt.
It's got to be some
Casablanca,
it's got to be some Caribbean island somewhere, right? Like
that might not be far enough.
Private.
Well, the island part is a good job out of you, Bake, because then you're talking about no one can get in or out.
Yeah.
Small, private. The island part there works. I think the key to it is going to be what's the most. You got to find someplace ultra remote, and he's not going to some dump, so it's going to be.
Tiger getting treatment in Bora Bora.
Right. That type of thing. Yeah. I've been. That's remote. That's about as remote as you can get, kids. You go out there.
So apparently this is the first time since 1994 that Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson will miss the first major of the PGA Tour season, the Masters. Mickelson put out a statement on social media, quote, unfortunately, I will not play in the Masters next week and will be out for an extended period of time as my family continues to navigate a personal health matter. I have great respect for Augusta National, and it is definitely the most special week of the year. I wish everyone the best of luck and will be watching. Mickelson missed the first 4 Live Golf League events this season because of that family situation. He did return 2 weeks ago in South Africa. He tied for 48th in that event. Thing or not a thing?
It's a big thing that neither one's going to play for the first time since 1994. That's a massive thing.
That's nuts.
It really is. Makes me feel old that it's been that long, that one or the other of them have always been there. They're always going to be linked because of, they were both kind of at their apex at the same time. Tiger's obviously was bigger, but also just the paths that they both have taken. Tiger off-course path starting all the way back to, Thanksgiving with an iron to the side of the melon and everything that followed. And then Phil winning the PGA at 52 at Kiowa? And the whole course?
51, I think.
The whole course is following him up the 18th fairway, like all the patrons, and he won the PGA at plus 50 and was like the most popular guy on the planet, and then really kind of blew it a little bit and is now not that. And so it's just weird how they both got to where they're at. And obviously you hope the personal stuff is, that obviously is pretty serious if he's missing this amount of stuff. No, and he hasn't disclosed what it is, nor does he have to. But that's obviously very serious.
Yeah, we don't know if it's his health or like his parents' health or something. It just says a family matter there with the health. Bo, I get the feeling that this has to be like, for my dad, the first time Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, Lee Trevino, Gary Player weren't at a Masters or some kind of an event. I think we've been here for quite some time, but it truly signals a changing of the guard in this sport. We're not having either of them. First time since 94. That's crazy. And I don't know, but I'm guessing the numbers will show that they're not there too.
Certainly with Tiger, if he plays, then you get the boost. Phil used to have that as well. I'm with you. It's a changing of the guard for sure when it comes to the sport. Final hour of the week coming up next. We kick it off with what we learned this week. You're going to hear from Threes as well on his linebacker room, so we'll have a little fun with that. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Question from a listener: do you dopes ever get tired of talking about Ohio State? No. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
It's Timmy Hall here with Gordon Miller, founder of Miller Lending. Now, Gordon, I remember hearing of your no-cost mortgages back in 2008 when I was on the air in Raleigh-Durham. So what brings you to Central Ohio?
Hey, Tim. Small world, isn't it? But we saw Columbus as the perfect market to offer our no-closing cost mortgage product. With a growing population and relocations, it was similar to our original decision to expand into Raleigh back in 96.
Well, I got to see firsthand how well it worked in Carolina. So how about explaining to our listeners how it truly has no closing cost associated?
That's right, Tim. Way back in 1987, I found a way to do mortgages without using the standard method of buying the rate down with thousands of dollars in various costs. Rates were volatile, much like they are today. And folks were stuck at higher rates because it simply cost too much to refinance. There had to be a better way, and we think we found it.
That was Gordon Miller, founder of Miller Lending, the home of the no-cost loan. Give him a call, 877-9-NO-COST, or online at nocostmortgage.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender. NMLS number 250-2146.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-791-0000. That's 800-791-0000.
Spring brings brighter days and more time to show off your Cole styles. School drop-off, a chance for your outfit to shine in the morning rays. The sun filtering through your windows, practically a personal spotlight. And family walks, all perfectly timed for golden hour. Shop Kohl's for 15% off and make the most of more daylight. Your outfits deserve it. Select styles. Offer ends April 4th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohls.com for details.
Hey, it's Anthony. By now you know my good feet story, but the point I try to get across is that it's an ongoing one for me. For as long as I can remember, it's always been about my lower back. But when I got fitted for my personal arch supports, it's been an absolute game changer. I feel better. They take all the stress off my back. I feel supported and aligned, and you don't hear me complain about it the way I used to. I could feel the difference instantly, and I didn't have to wait to feel that difference. Once I got fitted, popped them in my shoes, took the test walk around the store, and now on a daily basis, everything feels better. And that's what I mean about an ongoing story. This journey to feeling my pain disappear makes everything better. You can make an appointment online or just stop into the Good Feet store in Grove City or the one on Polaris Parkway in Westerville, and their experts will personally fit you. Then do what I did. Take a test walk around, and you will feel the difference. Do your feet a favor. Get started at goodfeet.com.
What would it take for my child to only miss half a day of school for treatment?
What would it take to fund a cure for childhood cancer?
It would take all of us to come together to support the research. Join us. Go to childrenscancer.org today.
As the seasons change, it's time to prep your HVAC system with a $49 seasonal tune-up from Columbus Worthington Air. A seasonal tune-up can help save money on your energy bill and help prevent expensive breakdowns. As your local home service experts, everything we do is backed by our exceptional service guarantee. It all adds up to dependable service from neighbors you trust. Columbus Worthington Air and Bryant Heating and Cooling. Whatever it takes. Visit cwaohio.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 47543.
At Babs R Us, we believe home improvement is life improvement. As the Midwest's fastest growing 5-star bathroom remodeler, we're more than just transformations. We're a community driven by a mission to bring your dreams to life. Our installation team, part of the Babs R Us community, isn't just skilled. They're dedicated to respecting your home. Each day, they bring craftsmanship and hustle, turning your dream space, no matter the size, into reality. Together, we embrace a culture that values diversity, collaboration, and giving back. From supporting local projects to fostering a workplace where every voice is valued, Babs R Us is more than a company. It's a community of experts. We're also expanding locations to create more possibilities for homeowners across the Midwest. Wherever you are, you'll find us ready to turn your dreams into something you can see, feel, and enjoy every day. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement, or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, loan to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BAB to schedule your free estimate or go to babsrus.com. Babs R Us, where dreams soak in.
Hi, I'm Connie Britton. I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. There's plenty of spring football in Columbus this weekend. Ohio State's going to hold Student Appreciation Day tomorrow morning at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center at 10:30. Current OSU students can get in with a valid Buckeye ID. Buckeyes will hold 6 more practices before the spring game on April 18th. Tonight at historic Crew Stadium, the UFL's Columbus Aviators take flight in their inaugural home game against the D.C. Defenders. Kickoff's at 8 o'clock. That game will be broadcast on Fox. In baseball, the Clippers host the Indianapolis Indians tonight at 6:15. Columbus has won 5 straight. In the majors Friday, the Guardians host the Cubs at 4:10, home opener at Progressive Field. The Reds begin a series in Texas against the Rangers. First pitch at Globe Life Field is 4:05. Hear that over on the Fan, too. That's 1460 on the AM dial. And in the NHL, the Blue Jackets look to end a 5-game slide. CBJ will host the Winnipeg Jets tomorrow night at 7. This update is sponsored by Eco Plumbers. Get $500 in free plumbing repairs when you buy a new water heater. Visit geteco.com and book today.
What's the weather outside? Who cares? Bakers and shorts. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, final hour here on a Friday. Doug Lesmerises coming up in 28 minutes from now. We kick it off with what we learned. Hit it, fellas.
We're not trying to do too much around here, but over the course of 5 days, you might have gleaned some stuff. Bishop and Friends present What We've Learned This Week.
Sponsored by High Bank Distillery Co. Make a reservation today at highbankco.com. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
Well, I mean, I think one of the main things we learned here on the program is we now have a billionaire as a friend of the program. That's a pretty good job. I mean, that close personal friend of ours, Mike Rapole, joined us earlier this week. Columbus Aviators kickoff tonight at home, and for an opener, it's working. They had to open up more seats to be able to sell, so you have responded. Hopefully they get a great night for it. He was awesome, as you'd expect somebody with that type of success would be in terms of his ability to communicate. Incredibly kind to give us some of his time and speak to some of his passions. If you missed that interview, I know that we put it out on the socials or in the podcast form. Either way, you can go listen to it. I thought that was really cool. And I thought a lot of the things he said made sense. It made me believe that there is going to be a full and as permanent as you can be in this day and age investment in this town as a home for the Columbus Aviators in a long-term fashion. And I think that's a win. Something I always thought this city could support and would. You just needed to have like a commitment. It's kind of like anything. I'll do it, but I just want to make sure it's worth my while. And I think that's kind of where we are with it. So far, so good. That was fun.
Yeah, not only is our content the richest on the station, but so are our guests. In terms of net worth, nobody's got a higher net worth guest-wise.
Well, and the other thing, guys, we have the potential to add to that. I mean, all we have to do, if we get a Haslam on, now we're talking multiple billionaire friends of the program. Yeah.
That's got to get you something, right? 2 billionaires on the same program.
Friends of the program.
Probably buy a Marconi, right?
Something. The only thing that concerned me about having Mr. Rapoli on and being a friend of the program is he said that when something's 99% sure to be good, he didn't like that. But when it's only a 1% chance that it's good, that's what he backs. So I was kind of concerned what that meant about our show. But
well, I think the other things he's associated with are vitamin water, smart water, vitamin water. Body armor, pirate booty, no bull, all those things hit. So I think we'll be okay. I'm excited to see this tonight. It's my wife and I's anniversary, so I probably will not be able to partake in real time as we have some dinner operations tonight. But I'm going to DVR it, and I'm very interested to see how it goes. I'm not so worried about the football or any of that. I just, does it look like a good hang? Which is, I said this earlier, that's really the job of all of these things in the beginning as you're trying to establish yourself. I mean, the Blue Jackets did that at an apex level when they launched. They were a good hang right away. The Crew did that, certainly in the original stadium when they did historic Crew Stadium where tonight's Aviators game will be played. And now that they're at the current stadium, they've always been a good hang. The Clippers have always been a good hang. Diamond Dog Night for 40 years, all of those things. Like, If you're not Ohio State football, be a good hang in the beginning, and then people will lock in. So be a good hang tonight. That's the job of the Aviators.
And tickets there low as $16, and they've even opened up some more parts of historic Crew Stadium. Some additional seating is available because of the demand. And I think with one team on the rise and the Columbus Aviators, one team has an opportunity to earn some of those dollars the Blue Jackets postseason run, but it isn't going well.
I think that one of the things, too, and when you have spring football and it's failed so many times, as Mr. Rapoli mentioned, you automatically kind of think, I don't know how long the Aviators are going to be around. Mm-hmm. Is this going to fold? Is this going to be like everything else? But some of his thoughts and plans in this seem pretty good. And it gave me a little more hope that, hey, this is going to last a long time.
You have every right, and I said this before we had him on Tuesday, you have every right to be skeptical. These things haven't worked. It's also important, though, and he talked about 1 million people watching one of their games last week. They're not trying to be the NFL or college football. What they're competing against is Major League Baseball, MLS. They're competing with Netflix and Amazon and Hulu and YouTube TV and scrolling. That's what they're competing against. It's all just something to do on a Friday night. That's what it is. So, the fact that, what do they have, Gavin DeGraw playing at halftime, so you get a little concert in there as well, so there's a win. He sings the song from... Wasn't there a CW, like Dawson's Creek basketball show? Am I making that? No, there was. Oh, gosh. What is the name of that? You guys know this show?
One Tree Hill?
Nailed it.
I just Googled it because I've not heard of
One
Gavin
Tree
DeGraw.
Hill. Oh, you know the song, though.
I Don't Want to Be off his 03 album Chariot.
That's the one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one. You'd
Sure.
know that song for sure. For sure. We can't play it, right?
Probably not.
Because of our various, yeah.
I mean, we can do whatever. We're billionaire backed.
That's right. 2 times over, billionaire backed. Yeah, but that's that show, One Tree Hill. So the first season was pretty good.
It's about basketball?
It is, yeah. It's like set in the Carolinas. Pretty good premise for like a teen soap opera. Coming off the heels of Dawson's Creek. In my mind's eye, a little bit in front of Friday Night Lights, but kind of in that vein. Like the high school basketball team through the town. I remember watching some of the early episodes of it, and then the reason it's top of mind is because NBC watched it. It got fed to him on one of the algorithms, so he watched it, and I watched a couple episodes with him last summer. So that's kind of where that comes. But yeah, One Tree Hill, good job, Gavin DeGraw. Yeah, you'd know the song. The other thing we learned is that, and this was the most important thing for me that happened, even superseding talking to a billionaire. We know that Pilot Petey listens. And he also greenlit block blasting for me, which will be done here in about 2 hours. But that's good. When you now have a loyal listener who flies for American Airlines, that's good intel for your Uncle Bo right there, guys. I will be leaning on Pilot Pete.
I just hope he's not block blasting 30,000 feet up.
He's not. True professional.
Autopilot.
Sure.
Got nothing to worry about. Just like the Tesla. You can block blast on the Tesla.
No, well,
you can't.
Let's use Kurt Signetti as the example here and try to set the best example when we're talking about driving or flying or appropriate places to blast those blocks. Have you done it on the throne?
No, I don't do any of that.
Okay.
I am an in and out guy on the throne. I don't read on it. I don't want to be in there. I want it. I do it in the morning. I get it out, and it's it. I'm out of there in 30 seconds. It's clockwork.
For number 2?
Yeah, quick, easy, boom, get out, on to the next. Yeah, I've been that way really my whole life, barring some sort of emergency.
There are exceptions everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Every week you have something that'll hold you there a little bit longer.
You know what got me last week on that front? So the boys were wanting to, after meals, there's ice cream joints are a dime a dozen down there, a dime a million, honestly. And after every meal, like you'd walk back to the house and they'd want to stop at the various places to try the ice cream. And then we have like ice cream competitions. So I don't consume ice cream on the reg, as Kenny Powers says. But I enjoy it. So I would get little bits here or there when they would do it, and I'd try out new flavors, whatever. Fellas, wrecked me. I'm just not used to it. Now, so that one absolutely wrecked me. And I've had that before where it shall remain unnamed, but I had a specific fast food item for the first time in probably 15 years. This was about 2 summers ago. And my wife and the boys were up at the lake, and I was here alone. And I started to get this pain. I thought I was having an appendicitis. Like, I'm like,
that's terrifying.
I couldn't move. Like, I thought I was having appendicitis. Then you read about an appendicitis, you're like, oh my God, you can die from this. And I'm like, okay. So it's like, I don't know, 1 o'clock in the morning. I went to the emergency room. So I get to the emergency room, and they're like, your appendix, I think, is okay. And I'm like, well, what is this pain from? And she's like, and the doctor said, well, what did you eat? And I said, wait, what? And she's like, what did you eat? And I told her, and she goes, there you go. And that's what it was. It was fast food. Fast food that I hadn't eaten in a long, long time. I'll tell you in the break what it was. I don't need a lawsuit, so I'm not going to say it on air.
Good job out of you.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear this.
Yeah. I think it's not the one that I think you're thinking.
I honestly can't, if you ask me like what the food item I think it is, I couldn't, it feels like my answer's changing every second.
So there's one fast food place that if I'm not participating in fast food for a while and then I have this place, it gets me every time.
I'll be curious to see if it's the same. Yeah, we'll see if it is. So there you go. That's what we learned this week. Mr. Laurinaitis up next on his linebackers, the depth. Christian Allegro getting a lot of attention in that room. We will get to all of that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
I'm Meredith Garfalo, meteorologist at 10 TV News This Morning, and I'm an Ohio girl. I love golf, aerospace, and all things Ohio sports. For nearly 20 years, I've studied the patterns that shape our days, from winter wonders on the south side to dangerous storms along the I-71 corridor. When the weather changes, you'll be the first to know, because you need a forecast that moves as fast as you do. Make the move to 10 TV News this morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
Home should be a comfortable place, but sometimes it's filled with rooms that are too hot, too cold, high energy bills, noise, and polluted air. You deserve better because you care about home comfort, and that's why Logan Services will care for you. We're fast with same-day estimates and next-day installation. We're friendly, listening to you, offering a system for every home and every budget. Get comfortable by choosing Logan AC and Heat Services.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off a closing cost. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 5.99% APR, 6.02% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3RD-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
Spring is hatching at the Columbus Zoo. Join us April 3rd and 4th for Eggs, Paws, and Claws. Snap a pic with the Easter Bunny, meet Egbert, roll into Shelley's Shellebration, and crack the clues in the Explore and Find. It's 2 extra fun days you won't want to miss. Get your discounted tickets at Kroger.
Spring cleaning isn't just for your house, it's for your life. If your job is getting old, it's time to clear the clutter and spring into IT. Go to My Computer Career.
My Computer Career helped me get the skills and certifications I needed to start a new life as an IT professional in months, not years.
Earn the certifications the top employers are looking for right now. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation to see if it's time to spring into IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
We got a higher home appraisal after we put away our African art and family photos.
Has this happened to you because of race or national origin? Contact HUD at hud.gov/fair housing. A message from HUD and the National Fair Housing Alliance.
Join our resident gambling degenerates, Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas, for On the Money, Sunday mornings at 9.
Presented by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
The Fan.
And now, Public Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Jeff Wensing.
Public education matters, and attendance matters. Students who show up nearly every day to school can learn, grow, and thrive. But if they're not there, they miss important learning opportunities and can easily end up behind. Families must make their children's school attendance a priority, and educators must be strong partners to support that goal.
Public Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education Association.
Do you want a job that is flexible, secure, and fun? It also offers excellent pay and is ranked as one of the best jobs in America, too. I'm talking about being a dental hygienist. And all you have to do is complete a 2-year program after high school. Visit ODA.org to learn more and to start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Chances of showers and storms for us this afternoon. Otherwise, it'll be partly sunny and breezy with highs getting up into the low 80s. For tonight, shower and thunderstorm chances linger overnight. Otherwise, mostly cloudy with lows in the 60s. And then for Saturday, we'll see partly sunny skies with chances of showers and storms developing in the afternoon. Breezy winds and highs in the low 80s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
During this 10-second promo, Rothman will lose money gambling on something.
People like you come here and blow the family nest egg that built this town.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan. Pull up a stool and ask the bartender for something neat, because Uncle Bo is on the radio. This is Bishop and Friends.
Well, it's been a good day for the for the old brain on your Uncle Bo. Snags with this correct. One Tree Hill was filmed in Wilmington, North Carolina. Had a friend on the show, he says. One of the kids could play hoop, the other one couldn't. One of the stars, one of them like legit. And that's probably the one that it's the hardest to fake if you can't. That and throwing a football. Those are the two things that they have the hardest time in Hollywood. The other one that's a little sleepy, he got better as it went on, it's one of my favorite shows of all time. Danny McBride in Eastbound and Down season 1 could not throw a baseball 47 miles an hour, let alone 100 miles an hour when he got his pitch back. Now he got better. He obviously put in work. By the time he got to the second, third season, he was a little bit better. But early season, Kenny Powers throwing the baseball, those are 46 mile an hours.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think once, like third or fourth season, he just didn't pitch. You just didn't see him throw the baseball because they were up to other hijinks.
Well, he was year 2. He goes to Mexico, La Flama Blanca, and then year 3, he's with the Mermen. The Myrtile Beach Mermen.
I don't remember ever seeing him throw a baseball in Myrtile Beach.
I don't remember if he did or not either. Yeah. I know McConaughey was the scout from Tampa, wasn't he? Wasn't he the guy who was his... And then... Well, the Scott...
Adam Scott was
Pat Anderson.
Yeah.
Pat Anderson, top scout for Tampa. And then McConaughey was in the mix as well. But yeah. And then they just said, you know what, maybe we just don't have him pitch anymore, and that's the best way to do it because you can't fake that, especially nowadays. Buckeyes inching closer to the spring game. Our old buddy, Mr. Threes, heading that linebacker room. He's got to replace 2 guys who are going to go in the top 10 of the NFL draft. That is obviously a very, very tall task. There's a lot of talent there, talent that he's recruited, talent that's come in via the portal. One of the things that I think Threes would probably like out of that room is to play a little bit more depth than he did a year ago. Really just the top 2 and Peyton Pierce were the ones who played the majority of the snaps, obviously, at linebacker this year. Here is Threes on that depth.
The standard was always to try to get our room to a point where you felt a healthy amount of pressure to perform, in the sense of if I have a bad day or two, I could be passed up by the next guy because of the talent level in the room. And I constantly want that grittiness to it because I certainly felt it when I was here. I'll never forget, I think going into junior year, being asked about Ross Holman from Coldwater by you guys. I never forget Mark Johnson and coming from LA and the hype around Mark. But it was used as motivation. And these kids now, I mean, they see it. They all know each other based on, the recruiting game has blown up even more. But I think it's healthy because what it does is you find out the mental toughness of your room, and you got to see who can perform under pressure and then who's going to make a play when their number's called. And then what does that do? That prepares you across the board for that when they do get an opportunity to go to the National Football League. They're not intimidated by like the room and having to make a play in high pressure situations because they've already been through it here at Ohio State.
I knew he was going to do the Holman story. Can you imagine being Threes? Like he's already a 2-time All-American, and Luke had him so twisted in his head that he's worried about a freshman from Coldwater coming in and taking his spot. Like the guy's thrust in as a freshman in the Michigan game when Bob gets hurt, and then is a first-team consensus All-American as a sophomore. And coming out of that, he's like, "Well, I hope I can keep my job." That's what makes him different, though. Is like he could get himself in that headspace on the reg. Just could do it.
And that experience that he's had, I mean, it transfers so well to being a coach and trying to get your guys, or understanding what it's like to get your guys to at least try to get there. With that headspace, because there is part of it you just kind of have to be born different to go, to take James's path, especially nowadays where it seems kids are less likely to, wait, and seems they're less likely to work as hard or be the hardest worker anybody in that room relative to just transfer out. But for these guys and just how young they are and how much football they really haven't played, how much meaningful football they haven't played, like he's kind of the perfect guide for this.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. And I don't think it's a surprise that he recruits the way that he recruits. He develops the way that he develops. I think anybody who listened when he and I did the show for all those years, I don't think anybody is out there surprised that he's very, very good at this. One thing that is a little bit of a surprise, and it's just comes from my own naivete, it's not like I didn't watch a lot of Christian Allegro. football last year. So I didn't know exactly. I knew that he was somebody that they wanted. But I didn't know exactly how they would deploy him. Here's threes on Allegro and kind of the plan.
When I caught wind that Christian was going to get into the portal, I honestly was like, okay, I'm going to watch 2 games. I'll watch Alabama. I'll watch them against us because I know what our guys are at tight end. I knew what Will Kazmarek, what he was like as a blocker. And to see him with the club on in that game, fighting and the toughness, I honestly noticed his size, like on the field. I was like, gosh, 0 over there is a big son of a gun. And just thought there was like a veteran. Like, we're very talented, but we're young and green. So there's like a veteran. I've been in big games before. I've played the top opponents before, and the scene isn't too big. Not to say that it will be for the other guys, but you just don't know. And so it's another guy to bring in the room, I think, and just compete for playing time just like everybody else. And I tell the guys every day, like, your practice reps will determine how many guys that we will play and rotate. And that's reality. I hope it's 5 or 6, or it can be 2. It honestly just depends on how they prepare and really how they perform.
Yeah, and I think the other factor in this, so a lot of the talk is that Allegro is someone that they'll use kind of the way they used Arvell, like coming around the edge sometimes and deploy him kind of in that type of way in Matt Patricia's defense. That would lead Peyton Pierce in the Sonny role. And then you say to yourself, okay, well, what about the other guys? And one of those guys in that room, highly regarded kid, Riley Pettijohn, but he's not involved in spring. And so the job of Riley and the job of threes is to keep him up to speed so that talent can manifest on the field at some point. But there's time that's being missed as well here. Here is James on how they're managing that.
Honestly, you just find out if he's mentally locked in. Ask him questions in meetings. When we do formations pre-practice, can you have him out there when it's not contact? But you gotta figure out whether he's still keeping up with the mental side of it. Riley has all the physical tools in the world, but when you're off to the side, you got to make sure that he can stay up with all the mental install. And so you'll randomly ask him questions in the meeting room to make sure that, because it's hard. Like when you're hurt and you're off to the side and not practicing and just in the pit all day, like, it's tough to stay as detailed and professional.
Yeah, it really is. Garrett Stover's in that room as well, who looked like a body transformation with him. So it's going to be an ultra-competitive room and a massive task when you're talking about replacing 2 top 10 picks. We've never had to do that at linebacker. 2 top 10 picks at linebacker being replaced? Never.
Life in the big city. Yeah. I remember like Urban always making that comment, and I think he just meant it mostly about recruiting and competing, but now it makes everything. It fits with everything. And it was interesting, that last thing that James said of being a professional. Like, that's what this is. Mm-hmm. This is professional. This is you eat what you kill.
Yep.
I think it's going to be so interesting to see, because the last year, Peyton Pierce kind of forced them to use more 3 linebacker sets. And you don't have the depth of talent maybe that you had on that back end last year with the Caleb Downs, Lorenzo Styles, a couple guys that could move around different positions. It sounds like it's been a slow go for Terry Moore getting acclimated here. Earl Little has kind of locked down that nickel spot, it seems like. I wonder if, with Riley Pettijohn's talent and what we've seen here from Garrett Stover being an Iron Buckeye, TJ Alford is there as well, if one of these guys can kind of force them into more of a 3 linebacker look when they can do that on the field this year.
It's on them to do it, because threes, nothing's given.
And they'll play the best.
No, yeah, we're past, and you bring up the point, Reese, about him talking about, be a professional. That's what it is. It is professional sports, and with that comes professional treatment. You're being compensated. You've been compensated. Now you have to play to that level, and it gets late quick in college football. You feel like you have all the time in the world to I'm just a freshman, I'm just a sophomore. You blink and it's done, and you're looking back going, what happened here? So that's the thing. And when you miss a spring, and it's not Riley's fault at all, and he's just the position that this is just the position group we're talking about. But like when you talk about the importance of that and being in the mix, and every single rep is critical to how this team views you, and if you can earn space on the field. and a place in the lineup in the 2 deep. Beyond that, Doug Lesmerises in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends, right here on the Fan.
Great Lakes Hyundai. The savings are so good.
The savings are so good at Great Lakes. But have you seen our inventory? With over 1,000 new Hyundais to choose from, there's no need to settle at glakeshyundai.com. Find a new Palisade with the exact options you need, or a new Tucson in that color you have been seeing around town. Plus, every new Hyundai comes with Hyundai Assurance and America's best warranty. A 10-year, 100,000-mile coverage. At Great Lakes Hyundai, the savings and selection are so good.
Many times, a person hires a law firm after an injury without doing research. It can be a big mistake or not. Sometimes, after you have hired a certain lawyer, you realize you made a certain mistake. But guess what? Just because you hired them doesn't mean you can't fire them. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you think you've hired the wrong firm, you may have. So do this. Google Morgan & Morgan results or visit forthepeople.com for cases just like yours. You may find that our full-service injury firm should have been your choice in the first place. Last year, almost 12,000 people discharged their law firm and hired us after further research. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. Visit forthepeople.com today and let's get started. Or call Pound Law on your cell phone. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
My name is DeMar Hamlin. I play for the Buffalo Bills, and I play safety. CPR saved my life. I've teamed up with the American Heart Association as a national ambassador to help create a nation of lifesavers, turning bystanders into lifesavers. Through CPR education and access to AEDs, nearly 3 out of 4 cardiac arrests that don't happen in hospitals happen in homes. Join me to ensure everyone has the chance to live longer, healthier lives. Visit heart.org/nation.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Keep your friends close and your producers closer. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Indeed you are. We get smarter on a Friday, as we always do, with our good buddy Doug Lesmerises, the Bill and Doug Show on YouTube on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. I had to say something this week that I never thought that I would ever utter ever out loud, buddy, and that was maybe Tommy Tuberville was onto something. What? I don't want to give him too much. I know. I don't want to give him too much credit because I kind of despise him on a lot of levels, but he did his legislation that he's going for, and we won't get anywhere, but the jumping off point of 5 years to play 5, one transfer. I think the one transfer is going to be really hard to hold up. But what I did like about it, Doug, it's the first legislation I've seen that did not tie limiting athletes' funding directly in the legislation. And to me, anytime that they do that, it just is dead in the water.
Right. Because people want a free market and let people, go do what they want to do. But it does, because it would limit, you can make money, but if you're a free agent after every year and you're constantly available to everybody all the time, and you can go to court and try to get extra eligibility, that changes the conversation about getting paid, right?
True.
So if you're a little bit limited with your transfers and you're five years to play 5 or whatever, and that's it, it does change that monetary. It calms it down a little bit, and I don't think it denies people opportunity. The bottom line is 5 for 5 makes sense. There's nothing more than I hate than this Chandler Morris suing for a 7th year.
Right.
I thought the Puff Johnson stuff with Ohio State basketball was silly. It's silly.
It is.
I didn't get to play 34 games. You only got to play 29, so I'm suing. It's what are we doing here? So it's not what it's intended for, and every time somebody gets an extra year of eligibility into their mid-20s, they're denying something from a teenager. So it's not a victimless situation, right? We're keeping college-age kids off the court and off the field in the name of 25-year-olds who want to get one more payday because they're probably not good enough to be actual pros. So, yeah, I'm not going to give Tuberville credit for it, but I'm in on 5 for 5 for sure.
I don't blame you. I did it very, very begrudgingly. And I think either an age limit or a 5 for 5 works. And I think I talked about this earlier in the show in regard to the Alabama athletic director Greg Burns saying it might be time to get rid of the SEC title game. And I've said that a long time, and I've laid out a calendar of how to do this and get it done in early January. It makes a lot of sense. I don't really see any drawbacks to it. But I think sometimes we want to tackle all of the problems at the same time. And I use the analogy of my wife. Like sometimes on our calendar with our kids, she'll say, like, what are we going to do? And it's like 2 Thursdays away. And I'm like, let me just get through today. Let's just tackle one thing. And I do think if there was some real leadership that could just tackle one thing, then maybe then you'd feel like you were accomplishing something. Because right now it feels like 2 steps forward, 8 steps back every time they try to do anything.
So I think the 2 choices, right, are some kind like collective bargaining where you do everything together because you give here and you get there and everybody's at the table and every stakeholder has a say, right? Some sort of, whether the players are employees or not, but they are represented by a group and they work in concert with administrators and university presidents and coaches to do what's best for the sport. If you do that, then you can do it all at once. Well, we'll give you this, but then that's how that works. Bargaining.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But if you don't have that, to sit down at a conference table and be like, all right, let's solve 11 problems in the next 3 hours, it's like, what are we doing? Right? So, like, if you could get to, and it's one of those things, again, that, like, who's against you have 5 years to play 5, right? Who's against that? Like, this, right. Are players theoretically getting, well, what if I step off a curb and turn my ankle in the middle of my 4th season and I want to sue for eligibility to get to play when I'm 23? It's like, are people really thinking that way? Like, it's the individual people. Diego Pavia is against it, but I don't care what Diego Pavia is against. So, like,
right.
When you think about something like that, isn't it logical for everybody? And then if you say, okay, we're going to get rid of the conference championship games and we're going to maybe make have a final weekend where you're not adding to the calendar. Who's against that? That's one of the things sometimes. I think that's what you're saying, Bo.
Yes.
Why can't we seem to solve the individual issues where it feels like who's on the other side of this? Who's let's not have guys play 7 years? Other than the occasional Twitter lawyers who want to represent those guys in court and get 10% of their fee or whatever off the guy's NIL. Like, who's actually against it? 1% of the population? My God, if we don't have 24-year-olds playing college sports, I'm out. Who is that? There's nobody. So solve it then.
That's it exactly. And so that should be a layup to solve that. Done. I dream a genie it, put it, and away we go, and we're on to the next. The other thing is the calendar. The calendar, everybody knows it's screwed. They know that you can move the schedule up 1 week. We should be able to have this done by the second Friday or Monday in January, whenever you want to play the national championship game. It is absolute buffoonery to try to go head-to-head with the NFL for the entire month of January. Everybody you talk to says, yeah, let's do it, but they can't do it because I think they're trying to solve everything at once. Just get little victories. Now, the question I have for you is, who is going to be the leadership up here? You and I have jobs, although we're available, always available for a price. Who's going to represent the Big Ten in all of this? Does Tony Petitti still have the juice to do it? Doug, I assume Ted Carter would have a big voice in that, but obviously that's gone now. Who's leading this?
Yeah, it's fascinating to think about. We've talked, because I think we talked about it with Christina Johnson when she came in. It was like, okay, here she goes. She has a chance to have a real voice in the future of college sports. Oh, she's not here anymore. Ted Carter, he's in. And I think, we're not here to talk about higher education. It's a sports show. But, it is kind of weird that, the instability in the leadership of Ohio State presidentially, what if you had an Ohio State president who was locked in and there for a decade and was like, I got a handle on this, let's go. It might have made a difference, right?
Yes.
So the problem is, right, Petitti and even Sankey, I think, sometimes their first concern is the thing where they have to fight for themselves, right? That Petitti is fighting for the 2014 playoff because he thinks it's better for the Big Ten. And he knows he has people who oppose him on that. So you put your energy into the thing where you have enemies, and then the thing that everybody agrees on is sitting right there, but it's down the list. It's not high enough on the list, right? So we've had this conversation a million times. You need someone who prioritizes the good of the sport over their fiefdom, but that person does not currently exist.
No, it doesn't. And I was down in 30A last week in the coast in Florida after we had to pivot on some spring break plans because of the flooding out in Hawaii. And that's basically all of the South goes there. And I've got buddies from down there from my time living there, so it's a steady diet of short inseam khaki shorts and various colored polos that matches the alma mater or the school that they're going to. But the one thing that they're saying, I had Paul on yesterday, and he used the phrase "barbarians at the gate" with Sankey, that they really feel like it's time. Now let's make this abundantly clear. The reason that Barbarians are at the gate down there is because they haven't won a national title in a while. They don't have a Final Four team, and they've kind of been lapped by the Big Ten in terms of they're being left behind, Doug, a little bit. Their most important programs, Georgia, Alabama. You've been talking about this for a long time. You and I have talked about it a bunch. But that's where this is coming from them. So you talk about that selfish aspect of it. It's incredibly selfish, but that's where they're at a point now where they feel like they have to do something.
Right. And I mean, isn't it every time another person writes a story about hey, the Big Ten's better than the SEC now, don't you just want to kick back and put your feet up, put your hands behind your head and luxuriate and welcome aboard, everybody. But they're a free fall, man. They're a free fall. They're not let's think about the good of the sport. They're like, oh my God, what are we going to do to win a national championship again? I think I said on our show the other week, it's like, man, I can't wait for SEC to talk about their golf national championships or something. I don't know what else they have left to brag about. So, that's the thing. The Big Ten is trying to, I think, seize the moment, right, with some of its success. The SEC is trying to hold on to the past for some of its success. Those are singular things. Those are selfish things. But if you could have a meeting, it's just an eligibility meeting. Again,
that's it.
Where
One
are
thing.
the nays? There are none. Let's do it. It's just a calendar meeting. Who's really against? Week 0 becomes week 1. We get rid of conference championship games. We save 2 weeks right there, right? We get everything moved up to a good spot. Who's really against it? Okay, boom, stamp it. Let's go. But I don't know. Make a call, man.
Yeah.
Let's have. Who doesn't? Are you a list maker? I love making lists, even of obvious things. I'm washing the dishes right now. Took me 8 minutes. Give me a box to check. Wash the dishes. I feel great about my day. Solved eligibility. Check that box. College sports.
Yeah.
Give yourself a win.
You and I, as typically happens, see eye to eye on this one. The Bill and Doug Show on YouTube on Ohio State football, and the Substack Bill and Doug on Ohio State football. Speaking of that, and I'll get you out of here on this. We're a couple of weeks into this thing, and we have a couple of weeks to go. Is there a development that has your ears perked up a little bit when it comes to the Buckeyes?
So I think we did a show about this on Wednesday on the Bill and Doug Show for our Substack folks. I'm interested. Ryan Day keeps talking about the depth. And I think we went through every position group, the depth they have. What would you like to have for your depth of each position group? What do you have? I think we had 8 position groups that were over on the depth you'd want to have, 3 that were under. They lost a lot of elite. Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, Art Elries, Carnell Tate, elite. I don't think they're going to have as many elite. Jeremiah's Jeremiah, of course. But the depth, I think, will be better. And that, it's not a trade-off. You don't want it necessarily, but it's what they're forced into. Will this team be deeper, play more guys, have more rotation, have more packages, rotate at receiver in and out, look different than last year's team, have a higher floor, maybe a lower ceiling, but guess what? Maybe that's what gets you there. So I think the shift of the roster and how they're making up for the individual greatness they lost, very interesting to us.
Well, and that's what you guys do at the Bill and Doug Show. That's a great job out of you. Saw that one. And, of course, the Substack Bill and Doug on Ohio State football. Appreciate you as always, buddy. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, man. Good to have you back.
There he goes. That is Doug Lesmerises on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We'll get to 3 things coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction or your money back. File in the Credit Karma app.
This Ohio State football spring practice report is brought to you locally on The Fan by Roosters and by your Ohio Kubota dealers.
Ohio State football spring practice report.
Lots of experience on Ohio State's offensive line coming into the spring and getting ready for next season. But one of those experienced players, guard Luke Montgomery, talks about how they hope to learn from the difficulties they experienced in the last 2 games of last season.
I think you learn most from adversity. Those 2 pretty great teams, obviously, and both were in the national championship. And you learn a lot from it. You go against great players like that. It's only going to help us in this upcoming season. And obviously with that comes experience, and we're very experienced up front. So a lot of guys can cross-train and play different spots, and that helps too. So we're going to be ready to roll, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But, spring ball is just about no pressure and just grinding, and it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it a lot. So we get to see the young guys get at it for a little bit too. So.
Luke Montgomery, one of those who 2 years ago took over in Ohio State's playoff run on the offensive line to a national championship. This report brought to you by Ohio State Wexner Medical Center and by Weber Grills. This is Paul Keels on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Buckeye fans, game day just got hotter. Whether you're parked in the shoe lot or grilling at home, it's not a tailgate without Weber Grill's Traveler Grill. Fires fast, folds flat, fits compact, and delivers championship flavor every time. Burgers, brats, steaks, even rival fans agree. Bring the taste of victory wherever you grill. The Weber Traveler Grill. Tailgate tough, Buckeye proud. Weber Grills. Taste the tradition. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith, Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag BuckeyesCare.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to power your progress, so you can give everything you've got, all for just 1 cent down. Whether you want to get the most out of our best-in-class equipment or go all in with free fitness training, our trainers are ready to help you get stronger than ever before. Take your workout to the next level at Planet Fitness. Join the club today for 1 cent down, $15 a month. No commitment. Deal ends Friday, April 10th. You ready? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Hey, it's Austin Ward. Listen to The Beat with Austin and Byrne, now powered by the Waterworks and Header Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Get the latest Buckeye news, insights, and unbeatable analysis every day. Don't miss a moment. Stream The Beat with Austin and Byrne, sponsored by the Waterworks and Header Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Day one, the hardest day. The day you hear,
"This is a type of blood cancer."
At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day one. To learn more and get help on any day, visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
They've all been paid by the Cleveland Browns. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, what do we got the bad news on the Severson you're telling me about, and then you're talking about evil stingers I got to worry about? How am I unaware of this thing?
So Severson's out for the year now. We already knew he's probably out for the regular season, but he had shoulder surgery today. So he's done for the year. Bo, this is on Twitter. If you can go to Twitter, there is a Twitter account called Gargoyle Stinger. And it's a little like limestone gargoyle stinger. It's on the top of one of the buildings down there. I believe it's right above where the Hal at the Moon used to be.
Gargoyles.
And I'm telling you, that thing is evil, and it's just bad luck for the Blue Jackets.
All right, I need to get. Oh boy!
In that picture,
I never noticed that little sucker.
It's right there as you walk through that strip to the arena, and I'm telling you, that thing's evil.
Did you know about this, Reese?
I did.
How do I not know about this?
I wouldn't say it's evil.
It's evil.
Has it been there since?
Well, it's kind
construction?
Yeah, it's been there as long as I can remember.
How have I never even thought of this thing or noticed it? Well, let's get him out.
That's what I'm saying.
Should it be replaced with a statue of Boomer? Or just a Jeff Rimmer head, like a bust of Jeff Rimmer looking down on Jackets fans?
Bo, there were a couple nights when me and my buddies back in the day were hanging out at the R Bar, and we thought about. I'm not condoning anybody doing that. That's vandalism, and you can go to jail for that. But there was a couple nights where we thought about taking that thing down, getting a sledgehammer up there, and
being done with it. You know how to do it. You're a man who knows how to do those types of things.
Aren't the Jackets trying to buy that building? Or is it the one next to it?
They're buying the buildings right next door and putting offices in there. I don't think they were going that far down.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Dami and I took a witch doctor there once to try to curse or take the curse off.
Dami made me go back and watch that.
Did he?
Yeah.
Of course he did.
You might have to do it again.
Hey, break. I got to show you something.
Hey, go look this up.
Hey, you can look it up. All right. What do we have in the poll today?
The Daily Fan Poll sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub. It asks, who wins tomorrow night and advances to the national championship game? Your options, Illinois and Michigan, Illinois and Arizona, UConn and Michigan, UConn and Arizona. 32% say UConn and Michigan are advancing, 29% for both Illinois and Arizona and UConn and Arizona, and just 8% say it'll be an all Big Ten national championship with Illinois and Michigan.
Yeah, I just need Michigan to lose. I don't really, beyond that, I can talk myself. I think if you do this from order of what I would like to see, it'd be cool to see Illinois win a national title. That would be pretty cool.
Give me Illinois and Arizona.
Either one of those I can live with. And then I think at that point, then I'm talking, now you're getting into UConn, fine. But I can't live in a world where, Michigan's in the Frozen Four, too, for God's sakes.
UConn would be the first since UCLA, right, to win 3 and 4?
Yeah, there's a player at UConn who would win 3. And he would be if UConn wins it, he'd be the first player that was not coached since by John Wooden to do so, to win 3 national titles.
So is that Caravan?
Probably, yeah. Yeah. All right, time for 3 things. Hit it.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, number 1 for me, the anniversary with the blonde is tomorrow. 17 years of wedded bliss. NBC was having a conversation with her last night. Now 14-year-old NBC was having a conversation with her last night. And he goes, Mom, I've never seen you and Dad fight. And I said, well, I guess we're doing things right then. We're doing all right. If we're 17 years in and the oldest hasn't seen us fight, that's a good job. Either we're doing it covertly or we're not doing it much at all. But either way, it's a win. So 17 years in the books, we'll take it.
That's a heck of a job out of you guys. Congratulations. Enjoy dinner tonight.
Yeah.
Another congratulations to Jelani Cambridge. Ohio State's guard is the first since Kelsey Mitchell in 2018 to take home the nation's most outstanding guard award, which is called the Don Staley Award for women's hoops.
Nice.
First part of my first thing, congratulations and happy anniversary, Bo.
Thanks, man.
If you don't know who Uar Bernard is...
Sure don't.
Get ready. So at the NFL's HBCU Showcase this week, he's part of the NFL's International Player Pathway. Mm-hmm. He's from a small village in Nigeria. These were some of his measurements at this showcase. He's 6'4.5". He's 306 pounds. He has 11-inch hands, 36-inch arms, 6% body fat.
God.
He had a 10-10 broad jump, a 39-inch vertical leap, and he ran a 4.63. There are some people saying he's the best athlete they've ever seen.
The picture, folks, I just saw that.
It's insane.
I think the state of California just put this into law. They're putting watermarks on anything that's AI generated so that you know the difference. I almost need that on this because it defies logic that this is a human who's never played football. And the 6% body fat on 305, that's
it looks
crazy.
Like he's chiseled out of granite.
It's Thanos. He looks like Thanos, truly. Number 2 for me, pay homage to the great Mike DeCourcy. We've had Mike on a bunch through the years. Love talking to him. One of the true elder statesmen, and in terms of covering the Final Four, he's as synonymous to it as anybody with the Sporting News over all these years. He announced earlier this week it's his Final Four. He's done a bunch of cool stuff at the Sporting News. I encourage you to read it. Truly one of the great basketball writers and advocates for the sport we'll ever see.
We should get him on early next week.
If he's willing. I didn't want to bug him because I can't imagine what this week's been like for him, but we should probably be fun to reflect at some point in the next couple weeks.
Some sanity in college football on Thursday. A Virginia judge denied Chandler Morris's request for a preliminary injunction that would have granted him a 7th season of collegiate eligibility. So he's 25. He's played at Oklahoma, TCU, North Texas, and at Virginia. The NCAA rejected his waiver and appeal. It's time, Chandler. Yeah. Let's move on with your life here.
Second thing for me, Kylan Mills. She works for NBC affiliate out in San Francisco, and she does some stuff with the Giants baseball game. Well, they won last night, and I believe it was Daniel Susi they were talking to, and I don't know why this is. She's doing the post-game interview. There's her and another male reporter there. They've got the player in between them, and for some reason, she has a laptop set up on a stand in front of her in front of the cameraman. And Willie Adames just comes up from the perfect angle and douses Susie with the Gatorade, and in the process destroys her laptop. I don't know whose fault this is. I don't know why she has a laptop there on the field. I feel like Adames has to come in at a different angle, though, here, so he doesn't ruin her laptop.
Got to be situationally aware, I think, absolutely. Number 3 for me, jacked up, lax all day tomorrow. 2 games each of the boys. It's all day long, going to be fun. Spring sports is here, weather permitting.
Yeah, I'll second that. Go Gardos. 4:10 today for the home opener. You've got the Aviators taking flight tonight. Final 4 tomorrow. The Blue Jackets are getting off the Schneid tomorrow night against the Winnipeg Jets.
Your lips to God ears, brother. Hopefully that evil stinger doesn't intercept it. Don't go anywhere on this Friday. Rothman and Ice are loaded up. Former NBA player and Georgia Tech star Kenny Anderson is going to be live in studio.
Dang.
They'll also talk to Dan Doncic in the first Chin Music with Jensen Lewis of the year.
Kenny Anderson was my all-time favorite collegiate player.
Ramblin' Wreck.
Dude, D. Scott. Come on, Brian Oliver. Oh, I'm jealous. Enjoy that. Enjoy your weekend as well. We're back Monday. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
1, 2, 3. Here in The Fan is always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. The